Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another Wednesday night and another installment of Bounding Live. My name is Spencer McCooley. I am the associate editor of Bounding Into Comics, and I am joined tonight by the ever handsome, the ever talented, the dolified Don. Sorry about that. I had audio issues on my end. Don is with me, of course. How you doing, Don?
Wonderful. Just got back from work at an undisclosed location.
You still look really nice and fancy and all dressed up. So I see we have a couple people in the chat already. How's it going, Chris Neville? I see Drew is in the chat. If you want to hop on the stream, bud, I think I sent you the link. If of course only if you want to. Lopter, how's it going, buddy? So just a quick shout out at the top of the show. Lopter has been going through some stuff lately. He unfortunately, his dog is not in the best of health right now, so it's been a pretty rough week for Lopter. So I just wanted to give a shout out to him and also remind you guys that he has a website now where he has started to write some stuff. It is called The Realm of Inferno. There we go. Get your daily dose of darkness, death, and supernatural escapades. You can find it at therealmofinferno.godaddysite.com. And so far, he's writing a series on disturbing video game bosses, which is fantastic because he might be the only person in existence who remembers that the suffering exists because it's sold like crap, but that game is fantastic and super scary. And I see, hey, Borg, thank you for joining us. Stephen Ernest, always nice to see you, my friend. But with that, I'm sure more people will pile in and I'll say hi as I see them. But with that, I think we should go to the first part of our show or get into what we've been up to this week. Yeah,
sure. So, why not?
Yeah, let's just jump into it. I guess I'll go first. On my end, I have been reading a lot of Power Rangers, the Boom series, both Go-Go and Mighty Morphin. I had to catch up on the end of it there because it just ended and they kind of rebooted it all into one just Mighty Morphin Power Ranger series. So trying to catch up on that and really just hanging out. Watching a documentary on Netflix called, oh my gosh, what is it? The Devil Next Door. It's about an auto worker in Cleveland who was falsely accused. That's for the documentary to tell us. I'm not done with it yet, but was accused of being the Nazi death camp guard Ivan the Terrible. So it really just goes through this whole media circus that went around him. You know, he was extradited to Israel and all this kind of stuff. So really interesting piece of history that I've been reading, but that's really all I've got on my end. How about you, Don? What have you been up to?
So what I've been up to is I am still working through the first chapter of this one. I haven't touched it since the last time that we got to it because I've been busy with work and so forth. I haven't even gotten to my editing my videos, but seeing as Christmas is coming up, it's time to get some money, and I am busting ass trying to get some greens in the pockets for the holiday season. So
absolutely,
yeah, that's what I've got going on, and I'm sure a lot of people in the chat can relate. So yeah, Zakarot 315. How do you?
Oh, hey Zakarot, how's it going?
Chris Neville, Davian Porg, Lopter. Yeah, we got to the sad news. Yeah, dude.
Sorry about
your dog. Hopefully comes through. And then your website looks dark and absolutely disturbing. And in my darkest days, just when I want to paint my eyebrows black and blue, I'll dive
your eyebrows. So that's your eyebrows. That's commitment to being sad there, Don. Also, because I found it after last week, if anybody remembers from last week, I brought up a really bad Captain Marvel art. I was telling you guys how there's a particular book where she just looks completely awful. And
worse
I told
than
you
the
guys
one we saw last week?
Yeah, worse than maybe not. I think that they're both equally bad in different ways. I would say this is better art quality, but the design is worse. So this comes from a book called not The Fearless, but Fearless, that was published last year by Marvel. That was basically a girl power book. It was like a team up book between like Sue Storm, Storm herself, Emma Frost, I think, was there. Miss Marvel, of course, Hellcat, all, just super girl power like Marvel's been pushing, right? And this is what the artist, her name is, I had it up just a second ago, Claire Rowe. This is how she draws her Captain Marvels. Allow. That's Carol. That is 100% Carol Danvers. And you can see that she's lifting, her arms up, and you can see she has like no chest. Right, and she's got like a pretty, just strong face. Like I love tomboys. Like I love when a girl wearing a backwards hat, super cute. But this is just not it at all. Like I don't know, like that's supposed to be Carol Danvers, right? But the most egregious one is this one, where she just looks like Longshot or Havoc or Adam X. And I mean, this entire page is her giving a speech about, I believe if I can find it here. Yeah. It is a speech all about what, like we have to face it as a team, a big, complicated, inclusive team where everyone gets to belong. And it's this sort of, we're the ones that matter. Everybody's got to unify, but you can clearly see like, they've got the women of color up here, Miss Marvel down here, and then the like Tumblr personified looking on in admirance. It's just like every time I think about bad Captain Marvel art, I think of this. It's just one like a bad, like her art's not like terrible, but like then when you get up close with the faces, you get like that Tony Stark. And it just, this is why I say like the art, like there she is again making a s'more and looking like a grunge band artist, even down there in the bottom. Like,
yeah, is that Cobain?
That's what I'm saying. It looks exactly like your mid-90s male. Oh, this is probably the backup story. Yeah, they have backup stories in each issue as well. But that's what I wanted to bring up just for normal. There's Renfimus on the right with the purple hair. Dude, honestly,
do not name the dark one.
She who shall not be
the
named.
Dark One's minions.
Oh no, anything but them. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to make good on my promise and show you that it's terrible. It's not getting any better. It won't get any better. But with that, let us jump into our topics for tonight. We've got a grab bag to talk about in the beginning, and then casting rumors to talk about at the end, which is probably where we'll spend most of our time. But let's start off with just a quick note of something that happened about an hour or two before we jumped on the stream. But they have announced that Mads Mikkelsen from Death Stranding, Doctor Strange, Rogue One, what was that? Polar? Was that the one that he was in, like the Netflix movie? Sure. He will be replacing Johnny Depp as Grindelwald in the Fantastic Beasts films, which there's not really anything else to say except for that. I personally don't care about the Fantastic Beasts movie. Like same. My ex-girlfriend was a huge Harry Potter fan, and I saw the first two, but I could not tell you what happened, just anything about it. So this doesn't really have any bearing on my opinion. I mean, I like Mads Mikkelsen, so it's cool to see that, but it's also kind of crappy because we all know why this is happening. And it's even worse that this news was dropped on the same day that the court in the UK denied Johnny Depp's appeal. So the verdict from like Thursday or Wednesday that said the Sun didn't libel him when they called him a wife beater, that verdict gets to stand, and it's official. It's closed and cut. And the only option Johnny has now in that regard is to take it directly to the UK Court of Appeals. But because I'm not a dirty Brit and I'm a freedom-loving American, I don't really know their legal system that well. So we'll just have to see how that unfolds. But we've also got Drew. How's it going, buddy?
What's going on, man?
How you doing?
Uh, same old, same old. I'm kind of doing the last minute, getting ready for the holiday thing. I'm
Yeah, right.
doing a few things for mom. What's going on?
That's awesome. What have you been up to this past week? You got anything you want to share? You want to just dive into it with us?
Well, no, it's funny. I've been playing kind of.
Oh, that's Drew, or that's Don, by the way.
I've been playing the Division 2 a little bit.
Dude, I love that game.
By the way, if anybody has it, you can join me on there. Other than that, haven't had too much time. Again, kind of, things have been really up and down with mom. So just making it through this holiday is kind of going to be a miracle in itself.
Hey, man, if there's anybody who can do it, I believe it's you. So we're all here for you.
Oh, I know, man. Everybody's
and we're just glad to have you with us.
Yeah. Glad I could pop on tonight. I'm on by mobile at the moment, and then I will switch.
Really? That's like it's like really good quality for a mobile.
Yeah, I will switch to the computer as soon as possible. So bear with me, folks.
Yeah, no worries, man. But yeah, just glad to have you here. You sound fantastic. I'm kind of jealous. I know the few times I've tried to join our streams on my phone, it sounds like I'm getting both beaten, electrocuted, and drowned at the same time.
Yeah, it can. So yeah, but let's dive right into the first story. I know I'm always fashionably late. It's like the running joke now. We always make the joke about bear nerd fun having bear time. I think I'm on Drew time.
Drew time. Hey, Drew time's just fine because Drew time got you here on time this time.
Nice.
Say that like 900 times fast. I also see in the chat we've got Lopter playing Monster Legends. He got Litalis and H20 Delirious, and he's also been listening to new wave bands. He capitalized that. So is that like a specific like group called new wave bands, or do you mean like actual new wave bands from the 80s? Because I know the latter, I don't know the former.
I think he's talking about the 80s, definitely.
Well, then good. Just
good old new wave.
Oh, new wave is fantastic. Bring back the synth. And then we see Porg has read his classic, Detective / death metal action. What was death metal this week? It was just that sort of grab bag of stories, right? Yeah, it was okay. I was surprised by the Patton Oswalt story because normally he is not that great of a writer and kind of a dick, but his story was actually pretty entertaining. It's a Batman story about Mr. Zaz and Arkham Asylum. It has a nice dark multiverse twist on it. Oingo Boingo and Duran Duran, dude. Heck
yeah, that's
those are fantastic. Yeah. I don't think you'll find one person here who disagrees with you on that one. And then yes, Chris Neville, Carl Manvers. That's the name I was trying to remember. I was trying to remember what it was, and I was making all these weird combinations like Mantin, Marvel, and I couldn't remember it. But thank you.
Interesting fact about Duran Duran: the only male band to play a Bond soundtrack for the longest time.
Who else even is there?
That stupid gay guy.
Hey, long before
Sam Smith? Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He was for the last one, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I was gonna say, long before I was going by Drew, when I switched to just call me Drew. I think that was probably about 9th, 10th grade, man. I was like so happy as a kid because there was a guy in Duran Duran named Andy Taylor, and I was like, my name's Andy Taylor too.
Dude, finally, I can have somebody like me.
But people always took that name and equated it to Sheriff Taylor. So eventually, after like the 900 millionth friggin' Mayberry joke, I was like, "Yep, I think I'll go with Drew."
Dude, that's at least you have like cool Drews to like take after.
Not the Collider writer.
Not the Collider Rider. Yeah, that's so weird that there's a Collider Rider that goes by the exact same name you do, and everything he writes makes me angry.
But he looks like a bearded SJW, which is
exactly,
like okay,
the complete mirror world opposite.
I am not bearded. I am a short, bald Asian.
Yeah, you don't have the goatee, so we know that you're the real one. But no, yeah, there are no good Spencers out there. There's like for the longest time, the only Spencer I could think of was Spencer Pratt. And if anybody remembers that incompetent waste of space, it was not the best of looks. We got Roof Korean. What's going on? He is playing the first WoW expansion since Wrath that I wasn't able to take a week off of work from, or a week off from work for. That's crazy that you've like played all of them straight. Most WoW players I know like take or like have missed some launches here and there. So good on you, dude. Let us know how it is. We've obviously been covering a lot of the writers behind it. So let's hope that the actual content that they let in the game is not as anti-male, anti-white, super racist as the writers are. But I mean, it's a very long shot, but that's why we hope here.
Yeah, I mean, I have no hope in the gaming sphere, honestly, because right now it seems like God, it is getting it's trying its best to catch up to the Hollywood sphere.
Well, Drew, did you catch this? Speaking of the gaming sphere, did you catch this story? Either I published it right before we jumped on, or it's been floating around all day. Have you heard about zombie kills and everything she's going on? Have you heard about this? Have you seen this?
God, yes.
All right. So this was specifically requested by Lopter to cover. So Twitch streamer Zombie Kills calls for mass false flagging campaign against Griffin Gaming following his criticism of her identity-based request for free video game consoles.
Oh, that's that bitch.
Yep, this is her. Jesus. So Zombie Kills, a few of you might have seen her around the sphere lately. She's been kind of a topic of criticism lately, particularly from Sophia Narwitz, who I know we all love on our end. But basically, Zombie Kills is a Twitch streamer, YouTuber, or just a Twitch streamer primarily, who has this tendency of it's like a forceful request to like Microsoft and Sony to basically leverage her identity as like a woman of color to get free stuff, like free consoles, right? So this is her. A couple back in October, here was one of her first tweets. Hi, PlayStation. We noticed a lack of representation of women of color, in specific Black women, reviewing your console. I'd like to volunteer myself if you needed help in finding people to do so. I have written review articles for Tom's Hardware and would love a chance to do so. Thank you. All right. The only reason she said she thinks she deserves a console here is because she is Black and a woman. So she also made a similar request to Microsoft. She said it was not as nice, but she kind of was on this, I don't want to say storm, but sort of like she was kind of, rampage is probably the best way to describe it, honestly. He was kind of going after Xbox and kind of like trying to encourage them to reach out to more diverse audiences and voices and all that kind of stuff. So as part of that, she made this tweet where she said, some of us Black women have had a love for consoles forever. I adore Xbox. I want to see them in the hands of people that look like me for reviews, not just a few Black and brown adjacent men. I would love to watch YouTube videos by us for us on tech. Like this tweet if same. Representation matters, especially when Black women are the most unprotected and disrespected beings on the planet. Hashtag justice for Breonna Taylor. So this one is even more insane, as you can tell from Drew's laughter, because
Lord Jesus,
what is even happening here? She's, not only does she get a dig in at men, but she also, like, I would love to watch YouTube videos by us for us on tech. Well, guess what, Zombie Kills? You can buy the console like the rest of us and review it like that.
What's
Like-
that's the Fubu console, right? For us.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, this is a thing that has been going on for years. There's always been a subsection of people, and it is, within certain communities that go and try to capitalize on the race pandering, and they do so specifically with the mindset of getting free stuff. And it is one thing that has absolutely positively driven me crazy, and this dates back for decades. It's not a new concept. It's been spun and changed now for the 2000s. But
Right.
you've got these people that are willing to do anything to basically go out and play that card to try and get something for free. It doesn't matter if it's people running into stores during a riot trying to get free stuff, or going on, a tirade on Twitch and saying, hey, Sony, hey, Microsoft, I'm underrepresented and I need you to give me console now.
Exactly.
I mean, it's the same concept, and you're always going to have that because there's just going to be people like that out there. Frankly, to me, it's disgusting. I'd rather, I'd rather reach out and say, hey, I'm a reviewer. If you care to send me something for review, I'd gladly review it. If not, hey, that's cool too.
Or kind of reach out to them with some angle, like if it were one of the three of us, we could reach out to PlayStation and be like, hey, we're a comic book kind of nerd review site. We noticed, or we know that there's a comic book game debuting with the PlayStation 5. Do you think there's something we can do here? Like work out something like that on what you have to offer, rather than just who you are as like a person.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like your immutable traits. And so on that note, Drew, while I 100% agree that this will never go away, the problem is not necessarily that she's asking for it, but rather she's getting noticed. She's getting these consoles. A couple weeks later, she announced, unboxing stuff will be out soon. I am so grateful for the opportunity to show the world next gen through a prism of black girl magic. Thank you, Xbox. And of course,
I saw that.
Shout out to PlayStation. Thanks for the PS5. She got it. They listened to her.
Of course they will, because these companies will repeatedly bend the knee, and a lot of the knee bending comes from the fact that they fear any sort of bad PR that will come from the Twitter mob mentality, and specifically, along racially charged undertones. They don't want any part of it. They don't want to even take the chance of hurting their business, but this hurts their business more than they could know.
Where's that? Was it last week? The Assassin's Creed Valhalla bent the knee to some
to
dumbass
one
on
person.
Twitter. Yeah,
they bent the knee to one person on Twitter who, in the game, there is not even like a mini boss. It's like a slightly stronger NPC that you can kill as part of a quest, who in that character's description, and the character's a woman, it says that
the burnt face.
It says that she has a burnt face and she doesn't like people seeing them, and her own like insecurities with her face are, she takes them out with violence. And one person on Twitter just said, wow, I can't believe this. When I was playing this game and my girlfriend, who's a burn victim, was sitting next to me, she read that and broke out into tears. You need to fix this. Like, this is unacceptable. And sure enough, one tweet, that's all it was. It was just from that one person. And Ubisoft said, gotcha, we're taking it out.
It's crazy.
Exactly.
It's
It is crazy.
crazy.
But I think you're right, Drew. It is that they don't want what they think is bad PR. They don't want surface level bad PR. They don't care about their actual players or their customer base anymore. Because to them, I think that they already look at people like us as like we're a given. We're already going to be there. So who cares?
People like us.
Yeah, people like the Asians who not only created the games, but also, piece by piece put all the consoles together.
All right, I'm gonna play that card though. I'm gonna play that card. Here we go. This is me playing the card that needs to be played. Here we go. Ding T. She's not black enough.
She is not black enough.
She is not black enough.
No.
Rachel Dolezal is blacker looking than this woman.
Yes, exactly.
I think that was the most perfect use of that card that you could have thrown it out there with. But so basically,
you know what? We need to sit here band together and say, look, hey, Microsoft, Sony, we're underprivileged Asian people. We don't
consoles now. We don't count anymore. We're white now.
Right.
According
we
to
lost our card. We're white.
Yeah, we lost our card like a week and a half ago. We're out of here, Drew.
Yeah, we're white. My bad. I'm an evil Asian colonizer. My bad.
Yeah, you were colonizers out.
Great pick.
Accuser of blackface. Oh, dude, yeah, Chris always has the most fantastic avatar.
Oh God, man, Chris Neville, that's great.
Exactly, Mark. We all white now. Welcome to the all white panel. If Jorge was here, he would also continue being the all white panel.
Man,
because they don't count anymore either, according to the who's, the awake ones. But so basically, this woman,
I could date white women with no trouble. Yes.
No, now it's not rebellious, so now it's just normal. Now you're gonna have a smaller pool, Drew.
Right.
But so Zombie Kills gets these free consoles. And Griffin Gaming is a YouTuber. He does, just basic video game videos, lots of like criticism videos too. He's one of those YouTubers who's not afraid to kind of pull a Leafy and, directly call out somebody's crap. So that's exactly what he did on November 23rd. He made a video criticizing Zombie Kill's appearance on this video right here called Why Console Makers Need to Support POC Creators. This is one of the best parts. It's not an exact quote because I kind of chopped it up, but following her appearance on the stream, Griffin Gaming noted that he could not determine what Zombie Kill's self-described existence in gaming was, other than bitching about not getting a free console. Basically, in the video, there's a moment where Zombie Kills goes like, "Oh, like this is hurting my existence in gaming. Like we need to help my existence in gaming." And Griffin Gaming is like, "What are you talking about? Like I see nothing here except for the fact that you bitch for free consoles." And he points it out because I would say she's moderately popular. She doesn't have that big of a fan base. When I went to her profile earlier, she's a Twitch partner and streamer with just barely 4,700 followers. And that's good. Like, that's not to discredit the work she has done, but that's nowhere near levels like, I don't know. I mean, Ninja's an unfair comparison, but Drew, streamers, right? Like, this is not an impressive number.
No, listen, I know women that made partner, and they made partner in a really, really, really quick time, right? Mm-hmm. But they didn't.
I know.
But
how.
they at least
by pretending to be a deer.
Even if they used a bit of their assets to get ahead, they still had the follower numbers.
Right. They could still back it up.
Yeah, they could still legitimately, if you look at their page, well, they've got the follower number. Now this is, God, this girl clearly pandered her way to Twitch partners. She's pandered her way to everything.
It's 100% what she's done. Yeah.
But this is a symptom of a larger problem, and that is what is being taught to to younger kids. They've seen, a lot of people in urban areas, underprivileged areas, have seen their children, or they've seen their parents get away with stuff like this, and they said, okay, well, I can get ahead like this too, and their parents have not discouraged it.
Well, it's not even so much their parents, it's also kind of society, honk honk, as a whole, between places like Portland, or places like Twitter that encourage this kind of behavior. If you want to talk specifically about the younger generation, they're seeing everywhere that if you pull your cards, you can get exactly what you want, and if you don't get that, you're the good person, and you now have, essentially the God-given, or like you've been chosen to go on a crusade. That's how they see it nowadays.
Well, yeah, and it's also the clown world of academia. There's college professors and high school teachers telling kids, oh, go ahead and do this. It's your right, and it's like, man, no, it's not. I mean, listen, every single gaming article that I've written for the site in the past, every review that I've done, I've done on my own. And guess what, people? Newsflash, I don't get review copies from gaming companies. Guess what I do? I either have to go on Steam or on Origin and either purchase the game, or, if I happen to have a friend that has a key, I get a key. But that's it.
Right.
Otherwise I'm SOL. I can't go and review the thing because I don't own it. So if I don't have the money to buy it,
and I've never felt in a position with what we do, Drew, where I deserved it. So I do get review copies of manga that we do reviews for. Like you'll see it. There's a disclaimer on a bunch of my manga reviews for Yen Press. They've provided me copies, but one, those are like $5, $10 books at best, and two, I never asked for them. They reached out to me and said, we want to partner with you. We want to provide you with these review copies. Nobody's coming to her and saying, we want to give this to you. It's more, oh my God, there's noise coming from the corner. How do we stop that noise? Well, just give her the Xbox.
Exactly.
Having said that, if anybody wants to give us any review copies to send us our way, Bounding Into Comics, boundingintocomics.com.
Square Enix, I will play Marvel's Avengers. I will do it. I will give it a 10. No, I won't.
No.
I can't even in good conscience joke about that.
No, we can't say that in good conscience because we're not IGN.
or GameSpot or Kotaku. I think you'll like this, Drew. In response to Zombie Kill's own demand that these companies do more than just giving the creators in question free hardware, but it should be hardware. In the video, Zombie Kills says, I want to see more from Microsoft. I want to see more from Sony. And, don't just give us these consoles. Bring us on to be a part of your productions. Bring us on to sets. Show us that you actually care instead of just giving us the consoles and being done with it.
Hold up. I've seen the panel of people that they've shown at their freaking, big old expos. It is the color of the rainbow in that office.
Oh, yeah. Xbox has always
there's
been
some
one
names
of the
on those.
There's
There's some names on there I can't even pronounce because they're from freaking Mozambique or something.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Like aiming at Microsoft is the wrong target here. It's easily provable that they are crazy diverse.
The Department of Diversity and Inclusion says you pass.
You got you get your diversity and inclusion card.
Oh God!
My name is more than 7 syllables.
Oh man,
that's automatic VIP gold status.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the world is looked at through that lens, and it's a garbage lens to be looking at things through. But
definitely,
but it's you know, we know that it's clown world out there, and I think that we tried, thankfully with us to stay grounded in reality, even though the rest of the world seems to not want to stay grounded in reality. They want to create some weird reality where, by the way, we're not supposed to be much of a part of. So I'm thankful for that, but yeah, I will never sit there and beg and pander to any gaming company.
Oh, well, I mean, that's exactly what Griffin says right here. It's not just a free console they want at this point. They want free games. You want free accessories. You want free Xbox Live. You want free Game Pass. You want everything for free, man. It never ends with people like this. They're always going to keep asking for more shit.
That's exactly it. Yes,
and you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, that's exactly the way it's played. Because they figure, I don't have to go out and earn money. I don't have to, scrape together a couple dollar bills and put a little bit away each month. I don't have to do any of that.
Because I'll just get it for free next week.
I could just go and pander and cry that I'm being marginalized. And guess what? I've got a new console.
You got a new console and sponsorship.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely... It's 100% stupid, man. And yeah, that's a good point that you bring up, Spencer, because I see a lot of people, a lot of streamers that get sponsored by different brands, different companies. You could tell the ones that absolutely don't deserve sponsorship at all, and it's like, how are you sponsored again?
Right, exactly.
And you can see why. And it's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And that's why Griffin Gaming decided, he made a video where he called them out, said all that stuff. But of course, as what regularly happens, in response to that video, Zombie Kills and another panelist directed a mass flagging campaign against Griffin Gaming. So he took the video down, put up a different one that basically said, this is what the situation is. I took the video down because YouTube doesn't care about creators. If you have one big strike against your channel, even if you don't have 3, it'll be deleted, and I don't want that. So I'm just deleting the video. But that wasn't good enough for them. As Zombie Kills starts calling him, man, F this piece of shit. F him for using my shit out of context, for attacking me and sending your shitty white supremacist community after my content. Just F you. I'm tired. So tired. And I know y'all will tell me to get hit quietly, but honestly, that's shitty. So basically, people criticized her, and she started painting them as supremacists, didn't want black people in gaming, didn't want women in game, all the regular cards. Nothing new to see here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's even proof where she calls on people to report his, quote, bitch-ass video. So it's just a false flag campaign. She couldn't handle that video. And she's also got backup from another woman who was on that panel. Her name is Stephanie Ijoma, I believe. I believe that's an African last name. I hope I pronounced it right. But she's accusing them. She's accusing Griffin Gaming and his Discord server of planning to lynch them. Like him and his racist community have been plotting and planning to lynch us.
What?
They make this accusation, demand everybody report it and get it closed. Now you might be thinking to yourself, everybody, Don, Drew, Deviant, Mark, Fenrir, you might be asking, well, let's see it. Let's see the proof that they're racist. You're not going to get it, but don't worry. I also have evidence because my community are amazing. That's it. That's the only hint of any sort of proof that any of that is true that she has presented. And that's basically where we are. Zombie Kills has kind of changed the situation, and she's now framing it as sort of a war on black people, on women of color, any intersection there in gaming. So she said, where she tweeted, "Today we push back. No more bullshit. Support us, the marginalized folks in your timeline. Intangible ways. Risk your bag and speak up. Today ain't about me. It's about every other person. Quieter? Maybe quieter than me that can't find their voice. Gaming is for everyone. But I mean, that's just basically where we are. That's where the situation is. I guess it's just something to highlight just how awful this kind of rhetoric is. I mean, just look at Don's face. He's taken this news about as well as really cheap beer. Pop vodka.
Well, I mean,
Pabst.
the way
Hey, I
things,
like that. But I'm a
the way things are nowadays, Spencer. There's a lot of people that jump on the activism train for these types of purposes only. They're not activists. They are leechers, and they're jumping on to be leechers, but say they're quote, "Hey, activism," and
Yeah,
and
right.
they
Well, I
are
mean,
not.
she straight up
activists.
describes herself. Her first words in her Twitch profile are activist, blurred, and variety streamer. So that's where they stand. But like you say, it's not even true activism. It's just grifting.
It is. It's absolute being a leecher. It's what it is. God,
It's so bad. But that's the situation. Huh.
Eventually, even the booby streamers are going to get replaced by these people, and there's going to be a time we're going to sit here and say, God, I'd even take the booby streamers back.
Well, Pokimane keeps getting attacked like every 3 days. Last time it was for that attack helicopter joke. Apparently something's happening right now that I'm sure I'll hear about.
Yeah,
at
but
some point.
Pokimane really don't count as a booby streamer. You need the good booby streamers.
You need the
Pink
ones
Sparkles or something.
The ones who are being sued by that guy who spilled all over his computer and like short-circuited his house.
Oh gosh.
It's like the funniest lawsuit ever.
He was probably watching Pink Sparkles because he has like.
I'm pretty sure that they might have been named in the lawsuit. It's pretty funny. But that's the situation with zombie kills. It's probably not the end of it. I'm sure eventually she's going to come after me for having written this article. But
well, dude, if she does, she better prepare for the wrath of holy hell because.
I'm not even afraid. I don't care. It wouldn't be the first time somebody desperately wanted my attention for nothing, and I don't have to give it. And yeah, exactly, Porg. I don't care about Pokimane a bit, and even I know the last drama. That's exactly what it is. Like I don't care.
Yeah, this is not breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, with what we do, we always get death patrols out there looking to capitalize for attention, and they come at us with some outlandish stupidity, and yeah, it's the same MO all the time. They want to. They're like, oh, I'm gonna take down this writer and get my 10 minutes. It's like, well, no, you're not.
Not this time. In a perfect world. But we'll see how that shakes out. But speaking of video games and speaking of Marvel's Avengers, just something I wanted to touch on really quick. Square Enix revealed that the game hasn't even managed to make back its development costs. It is still operating at a loss, with Square Enix's president telling stockholders that all of their video game arm last year would have turned a profit if sales of Marvel's Avengers had covered the amortization. I always have trouble with that word. Amortization of its development costs. And he admitted that absent factors associated with Marvel's Avengers, the subsegment would have been in the black. If anybody doesn't remember, a couple weeks ago, they released a report that revealed that the game wasn't doing as well as it should have. It was a commercial failure. It was a review failure. It was bleeding players. And for the company financials overall, it revealed that single-handedly, this game managed to drop Square Enix into the red. And this was in the same year, or in the same fiscal year rather, that they released Final Fantasy VII Remake. So that was the only thing that kept them afloat. And even then, they managed to burn all of that into a loss. $48 million for this game.
Well, what's going to happen is this game, it's going to be one of those within not even a year and a half. I'm predicting the servers will shutter and they'll say, yeah, it's just not worth it.
Well, funny you say that, Drew, because where I totally pointed it out. The game has only had an average of 790 players in the last 30 days. And that's a $300 or $300. That's a 300 player loss since the beginning of this month when I wrote the first article on their like sales numbers. Like that's bad. Like it's just I mean let's find out how many people are on it right now. Steam numbers, Marvel's Avengers. Right now, the day before Thanksgiving, everybody's got some time to relax. We have a total of 1,000 people playing an hour ago.
Oh.
That's only 400 less than its peak. That is, and you can see down here, they've lost, 640 players, average players in the last 30 days. Which is 44% of their player base. They're just bleeding.
Yeah, that's pathetic.
Yeah, exactly, Chris. Miss Marvel will drag anyone to the poorhouse. I cannot think of one. I cannot think of one thing she's been a part of that went well. There was what was it? Marvel Rising, that like cartoon with like Squirrel Girl and stuff that didn't do very well. She's had like 3 series canceled like over time and never lasting that long. Like her first series lasted for I want to say some upwards of like 50 issues, but everything since then has only been like 13 or 10 or nothing impressive. And then of course this game, like this is just, I don't know what other proof you need that she's just not a character people want to see.
Well, that's what happens when you double down on identity politics. You can't expect that the popularity of the character. People already don't respond to that character whatsoever. So why would you make her the main playable character and force a player to
bait and switch 100%.
Yeah, exactly. You don't force a player to, have to play through the game with her. I mean, my God, you got a game called Marvel's Avengers. For the love of Jesus, if you were gonna if you were gonna restrict it to any one Avenger starting out, it should. I mean, anybody with brains would make it Cap or Tony.
Exactly. And if you're going to do the story where Captain America is captured, then it's Tony. Like, it's not that hard of an equation to figure out.
Yes.
And it's like, of course, the game itself is crappy. Nobody wants to play games as a service. Everybody is tired of microtransactions and individual passes. And it's just tiring, right? But you also just have just the worst cast possible. You just have such a core cast that I feel like people are bored of, especially when you have the freedom of a video game. When we've had games like Ultimate Alliance or any of the Marvel versus Capcom games where you have all of these characters.
Shout out to Marvel Heroes Omega. I missed that game.
Gosh. That game, I can't believe they shut that game down. That game was fantastic.
I think I saw some Thor gameplay. Like, they give him this huge introduction where he just smashes into the ground and everything just rumbles in its quake, and then gets to the fighting, and then he's barely beating these guys up with Mjolnir.
Oh my god!
Like, it would have been better off with chopsticks.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's the kind of weird gameplay dissonance that they put in. One of my favorite things that they put in is you cannot fail QuickTime events. So a QuickTime event shows up on the screen. The one I can think of is Hulk is coming down from the air and you're supposed to push X and you blast away a bunch of AIM soldiers. And Hulk gets there, the meter starts going, and it gets to the end and it just hangs. It will just wait for you to finish. Music will cut out. Audio, like all audio will cut out. Nothing else can be done until you push that button. There's no fail state. It's really bad. And yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. The
yeah.
hammer makes the sound of a pan. They
Yeah,
didn't.
it's
They didn't
terrible.
make the characters feel like the characters, which is such a dumb way to phrase it. But like when I'm Thor, like Don said, I don't feel strong. I feel
Well-
I feel like me swinging around a broom in my kitchen.
Well, to be fair, listen, we were warned about this ahead
Typical
of time
Asian.
with you know, we
Part of the
covered
daily routine.
we covered this, you know, we covered the early gameplay and it didn't look good then. So we kind of knew. But then when they doubled down with this Kamala Khan thing, yeah, it just knew it was gonna be another a woke failure, and guess what? It's another woke failure.
Nail in the coffin for that one because
Oh,
it's just
man.
rip off Reed Richards.
Yeah,
I mean, she doesn't even use her powers in a cool way like Reed Richards. It's the most boring use of stretching powers. Just grow big or grow small.
Yeah.
Like turn into a parachute, slip under a door, do something cool.
I mean, give me back Plastic Man for fuck's sake.
Dude, Luffy.
Exactly, Luffy style. Speaking of Drew, thank you for reminding me of this. I meant to bring it up at the beginning, but I was too caught up in laughing with Drew or with Don. But I just over the week I read the DC miniseries. What is it called? Like Freedom Fighters, based on Earth X, the Nazi world. It came out last year. It features kind of like a new version of the Freedom Fighters, like what would happen if the Nazis won the war, and it extended to this day. But one of the coolest concepts they have is the Plastic Men, which is in this Nazi world. Let me see if I can grab a picture of them.
I did not see that coming.
All right. Into the corner with you. Plastic Men, Nazis, come on. Don't put me on a list. Oh, no, I'm definitely going to be on a list now.
Yeah, because you said that word too much.
And I also just accidentally typed in the word Nazi straight into Google. But man, I can't find. Okay, I am going to pull this up really quick. So we're gonna vamp for just a second because I really want to show off how awesome this is.
Plastic Man.
I promise, it's really cool. And now I'm like hyping it up, and it's not going to be that cool.
It'll be just like that Captain Marvel that you did. You'll find it next week. It's open right now. I'm looking at it. Is loading the archive right now. Mm-hmm.
Bingo, found it. So share my screen. So basically, on this planet, on Earth X, Earth 10 in the multiverse, like I said, it's all taken over by Nazis. So you have an underground meeting of the freedom fighters, and they're kind of talking about what their plan is going to be. And you see behind them, the American flag starts morphing because in this world, there are the Plastic Men. So basically, the Nazis' like elite units are all Plastic Men. So they get to do this and kind of just break people's bones and snap people in half. And I just thought it was like, look at this, like it's creepy. Like he eats Doll Man. Oh, and then they lost, so they burned them. But that was an aside. I just wanted to show off the Plastic Men. This game is awful.
And demonetized.
Oh, I'm sure. And I'm pretty sure the voice actor for never mind. The voice actor for Kamala Khan is somebody different than who I thought it was, but we all know that what's her name? Sana Amat gets to cash a big old paycheck because of this game.
Oh no, she's cashing more than that because of the series that's coming up.
Oh, do you want to talk about that? Do you want to talk about the set photos? Do you have thoughts?
We?
If you want, I'll let
Drew,
you decide.
Have you seen this?
Oh God!
All right, let me pull it up.
It's
All
happening, people.
I'll be right back. I'm jumping off mobile.
Yeah, no worries. We'll be here.
We heard it last year at D23 when it was announced before the panel.
Yeah, that was weird.
it was announced, and then we came into the panel, and I was there to see it.
Wasn't that the same year? Was that it's either Miss Marvel or She-Hulk, where right when they announced that, the writer like locked their Twitter and started deleting all of their like super anti-male, anti-white tweets? It's one of these two shows. I remember that.
I don't know, but I was live tweeting at the event.
Mm-hmm.
And so they announced Ms. Marvel right up front. They announced Moon Knight, which I wasn't expecting. I
don't think anybody was.
I was like, what the hell? They're going to do Moon Knight? Okay, I'm in. And then they showed I told the story like tons of times. I don't think anybody here has heard it, but they did the Justice is Blind, the scales, the statue of Blind Justice. And I thought, oh my God, they're going to do Daredevil.
Yeah.
I pissed my pants. I was like, oh my God, yes, it's finally happening. The rights are returning. And no, it's fucking She-Hulk.
She-Hulk.
And I'm like,
oh man, I can't even imagine how much of a disappointment. I would have felt the same way. Like, I do not blame you at all.
Anyway, but
yeah. Hold on. This is what I was talking about, Don. Yeah. Miss Marvel showrunner Bisha K. Ali deletes 5,000 tweets and private social media accounts prior to D23 because they announced her as the showrunner, and she deleted a bunch of tweets that were like, do we have any of them? No, they're all gone. Just basically the same.
The internet has them.
White. I'm pretty sure Data Racer here has them if this status is still up.
Hail the Data Racer.
Yeah, hail the Data Racer for sure. We wouldn't be anywhere without him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, see, like, just, I guess she's English because she's talking about Boris Johnson. Yeah, what did she said? Like, she calls for like white genocide all the time. These are all like the replies to her tweets, so you can see people are talking about like, I second that, and by the way, I hate white people. Yeah, but all the white people voices though. She attacked white people and you defended her, and I'm the bigot for calling her out. Like, I'm sorry that white people are so weird and invasive.
I'm very upset that she's a fellow BSG fan from her profile. Ew.
Dude, that
makes me upset.
Welcome to the world where we have to accept terrible things are coming. Funimation just got the streaming rights to Gundam. I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for all the bullshit hot takes about, oh, war is good or bad, or Amaro is trans, or Char is non-binary. I don't need it. I don't want it. Stay away.
Man, you know, it was funny. And by the way, great to see you, Tehillim. You're not too late, my friend.
Never too late. Yeah, buddy. Oh, Drew, nice shirt.
Yep. I'm rocking the old school, man.
I miss that game.
But you know, well, hey, I got the Master Chief Collection on PC, buddy. You need to.
I gotta finish putting my PC together, and then we'll definitely take the fight back to them. We'll finish this fight.
You know, that's actually one thing for the Bounding channel that we should do: play through all the Halo campaigns.
Dude, I'd be down for that. Yeah, as soon as I get the setup finished, probably before the end of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. That's gonna be a series that should happen.
But we'll definitely get on that because I really want to revisit all those games. But as we were talking with Don, Miss Marvel set photos have leaked. Don, of course, was there, as he was saying, to see everything, to see it all break down. And we finally have oh, that's right, my browser doesn't like to embed things because of it's my own security settings. I always forget about that. But we have, thanks to Don's eagle eye, caught the first looks at our Miss Marvel. I believe her name is
Iman
Vellani. Iman Vellani. She's like 13 years old. The very first Marvel role they cared about being comic accurate to, according to them.
No, not doing it for me.
It's not.
Well,
the browser's
she's
not
like
doing it for me.
13. You can't ring the bell for her.
No, I'm not talking about ringing the bell. I'm just saying it screams of woke, Don.
Oh, it screams of even worse than woke.
So yes, we have.
Not interested. Just
Yeah, right.
not
It's so the photos we got were Vellani here as Kamala. She's got a bike. You can see KK on her helmet. Obviously, Kamala Khan decked out in Captain Marvel gear.
And here I thought she was a fan of Kathleen Kennedy.
Oh,
Well, of course, they're the same. God. They're the same thing. Both are strong, powerful women. And you got her friend biking, ding. Okay, so this kind of relates to. I think we have to look at the second photo set, right, Don, to kind of know what that is.
That the Halloween one.
Yeah. So as Don reported in his report, why is Twitter taking 9 years today?
Can she go trick or treating in Haddonfield and get like terribly murdered by Michael Myers?
Well, I mean, it's the next Halloween's going hyper woke, so she wouldn't be out of place.
Cultural appropriation.
But so we have what Don assumes, and he's probably right about, is a Halloween scene, considering this is Vellani as Khan dressed up as Captain Marvel. Of
course
she looks. I mean, and here's her looking super short compared to her friend, and you can see kind of wires attached to her, and then she kind of gives him this look, and she's clearly getting higher, and then she's sort of on the roof here, and in the first set of photos, you can kind of see all of these sort of like stunt jackets, I kind of call them, where they're kind of worn in between takes to kind of keep everything sort of nice and clean, and of course the actor is comfortable, but it kind of looks like this is Don speculated what we just saw was a scene of her stretching with her powers up to the roof. And I mean, this I didn't see this photo before, like the one we're looking at now, but this kind of solidifies it for me. That is what it is, right? Like she's in costume on the top, and I don't know what's going on the bottom. Looks like a body bag.
Or stunt double.
See, I wanted to say stunt double. Maybe you're right, but their COVID mask or their I'm too drunk masks are different colored, and like you see in the other. Oh, I closed it now. But in the shots of her riding her bike here, she's got like the mask is part of her what is it, like the actress's on-set costume has a mask on it. So but then maybe you're right, maybe because it is in between filming, they're just wearing it for like their own personal mask for safety precautions. Who knows? Yes, definitely flopping has been. Definitely looks like a Disney Plus show, or a Disney Channel show rather.
Yeah.
One thing that I liked but made me sad about all of these was actually this concept of a kid in the Marvel universe sort of dressing up as their hero, wanting to emulate their hero, because considering how, like, I guess down to earth most of the MCU has been, I think there's something to explore here. I just don't think they're going to explore it the right way, you know, chasing after freaking Captain Marvel.
Of course,
like at this point, what did Captain Marvel do? I don't understand.
He hasn't done much of anything.
Like they don't know that she fought Thanos. Maybe they do. Maybe the Avengers said she helped fight Thanos. But like, aside from that, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Maybe
the last thing she did was back in the 90s.
Exactly. Way back in the 90s, and then like it was all covered up.
It's 2032 now.
Yeah, you're right. Like this is like future. So it's all over the place. That's why I don't. If this was something like, I don't know, like a Eli, the Young Avengers Captain America, the black kid, like trying to be Captain, I think that could be cool because Captain America's been around. Everybody knows him. We've seen him in action. saving the world from the Chitauri and stuff. But here it's just like you said, Don. What was the last thing she did? It was in the 90s, in the sky as a flaming ball that nobody identified and knew about, because clearly everybody was blown away by the existence of Iron Man.
Yeah, I would love to see a movie of a kid that was like maybe a fan of Captain America newsflash, the kid actually has a family. He has a mom and a dad, and the dad's like a war veteran, and the kid idolizes his dad, and he embraces patriotism, and he's a fan of Captain America, because Captain America stands for those things, and sort of winds up on a path to becoming a new Captain America, like down years in the future. Now that would be something to work a story off of, but of course patriotism is evil. It supports the patriarchy. Oh my God. And that's the attitude they take right now. I mean, it's so
of course. Well, like I was reading that Freedom Fighters mini, one of the main characters is Uncle Sam. And he's represented in DC as kind of the spirit of America. So when people believe in America, the stronger he gets, right? I'm reading this book this entire time, and I was kind of just amazed that DC actually let it get published. Because I don't think if you wanted to write any sort of even remotely patriotic story nowadays, good luck.
Yeah.
Like it's not gonna fly. It's just not gonna fly.
What was that thing Tom Taylor said that Superman once upon a time in the great days of comic books, and then you find out Tom Taylor just lied because Superman never said it in his books. Dean Cain pointed it out.
Yeah, it was to Dean Cain. Oh, I'll pull that up right now because that was such a dumb.
It's like truth, justice, and the American way. Superman used to say that all the time, and then Dean Cain pointed it out that the American comic books don't talk about that anymore. And then Tom Taylor chimes in. Tom King says, "Yeah, I wrote it in my book like a week ago, motherfucker." And then we all look it up, and no, a policeman says it.
Like just
not Superman.
Every reply is that page saying, "No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't."
Yeah, and it's sad because that needs to come back, and it's nice that there's a large section of people out there, 75 million allegedly, that agree that should be a thing. So yes, the American way does need to come back.
100%, I agree in some form or another. But aside from Tom King being a giant dickbag, that is Miss Marvel. Obviously, we don't have a lot of high hopes for it. I like the idea, the concept. I just don't think they're going to pull it off.
No, absolutely not. Yeah.
Now I'm going to say this. Helmet. I'm going to say this right now. It's a young actress.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She probably would have had a great and bright future if she hadn't taken this role.
Probably.
She took this role. She opened the door for a lot of assholes to come onto her social medias and such and start dogging on her. I say, don't dog on her because she took the damn role or what.
No, it's not.
You dog on the writers, you dog on the creatives, you dog on all the people that made this garbage possible. And we're going to predict that it's going to be garbage. Thank you.
Exactly, 100%. It's just like with Captain Marvel. If Brie Larson wasn't just a giant dick, our issues would stay primarily with the film and how terrible it was. And like John says every time he's with us, what you see on the screen is more of a product of the director than the actor, because the actor can only do what the director tells him, right? So I completely agree with all that. Don't attack her, attack the right people.
Yeah. And we say that as people who know what's going on behind the scenes. And
Was it?
Our guys in the chat? They know what's going on behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, of course.
I trust our audience is smart enough to know that. So.
Oh yeah, I trust our audience 100%. They're smart enough. That's why they watch us.
Exactly. We have a great chat and we have a great audience, and I am so thankful for our readers because the chat cross pollinates. There's a number of these folks that I see in other streams around the community, and shout out to you guys, and even a number of folks from the stream come on Thursdays and watch Pegasus, and I appreciate you guys for that as well. But
I come on Thursdays too.
Yeah, you do, Don. You do, and the
he has
thing
good authority, Don.
And the thing is the people that watch us and watch a lot of stuff around the community are very smart, and and they're very discerning people, and they know that when we report on this, they know they can peel the layers back and find the answers, because the stuff that we're in the midst of right now is a bunch of crap, and we all know that, and it's just trying to pick out the diamonds in a sea of crap, and it's hard.
Oh yeah, it's harder than ever nowadays. I agree with that 100%.
My fear is this young actress is going to buddy up with Brie Larson IRL at some point, and Brie Larson's going to show her the way.
Take her under her wing. Probably. Yeah.
And my God, she will raise a monster amongst us.
Bingo,
and
Porg. Exactly.
That
Judge actors what they say outside of a TV or a movie.
Yeah.
It's not Brie Larson's fault she stole that Captain Marvel stole the motorcycle for no reason, but it is Brie Larson's fault for yelling at a bunch of white guys about how she doesn't want them in her audience anymore.
Now, Wonder Woman 84, it doesn't look like it's going to be
2084 at this point.
It doesn't look like it's going to be a good movie.
Well, wasn't it just last week you and I were going over the Cheetah statue?
But here's the thing. Gal Gadot is still a standout personality. Yeah. They attacked her for having one of the most, what was it, an innocent opinion online that she posted?
Gosh, the most recent attack was because she got cast as Cleopatra.
Yeah. Okay,
that was a recent one.
It's just dude, you can't win with these people. But Gal Gadot is still a stunning and just, oh my gosh,
Gal's reaching critical mass. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. The bell is ringing. The mind is just drawn to her.
Of course.
Intellectually as well, because she is an endearing person. She is graceful in both word and poise. So, yeah. If Brie Larson did that, we could forgive Captain Marvel for the garbage fire that it was. And we're going to we can forgive Wonder Woman 84 for being the garbage fire that it is, because the actress who plays the part is not a garbage person.
100%. Yeah. And that is the night and day divide between Larson and Gadot and Marvel and Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
My concern for Imran here is I believe that it was wasn't it whatever. Have fun not having freedom 24/7, okay, Porg? What was I gonna say? Was it? I remember a few weeks ago. What I'm worried about is a couple months back or weeks ago. One of the last times we had Script Doctor on, and they announced her casting. Script Doctor was talking about how she's not represented by anybody right now. She's just she got the role because she was on some. I don't remember what it was, but she's it's not a good situation. She had at the time she had no agent, no rep, no management. So I hope she fixes that before anything else, because that's the kind of I mean, Hollywood is 100% predators all around, but the monetary one can really destroy you. I mean, so can the backdoor touchy one. It's just not good. Just don't go to Hollywood. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. All right, we'll say goodbye to Miss Marvel. We'll close out. Let's see where we are here.
Goodbye. Good riddance.
You know what? We're about halfway through, so let's go to our main topics for tonight. So we've had a lot of rumors this week about casting. The first one we got at the beginning of the week was that Dune star Timothée Chalamet is Warner Brothers' favorite to play Terry McGinnis in a live-action Batman Beyond. So according to these rumors, they want either Chalamet himself or a Chalamet type. So they want somebody who's the same age, build, height, and has a similar acting style as the 24-year-old actor, like I wrote. That's all we... Huh?
They want a really waifish looking male.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think that works for Terry. I think that, like, for me, my own opinion, I think that works for Terry. Like, because Terry was never like the big buff Batman that Bruce was.
Yeah, Don Gal was IDF.
Yes, she was IDF. There's lots of videos if you look around of her doing Krav Maga. Obviously, because she learned it like, in service.
Yeah, she's yeah. Wow,
she's like actually badass.
Krav Maga by her.
She, if you've ever, really quickly, not to
love
deviate,
to get creamed.
Not to deviate here, but celebrating a thing that we all enjoy, and that's beautiful women. If you in your travels around the internet, folks, if you ever look around and image searches that do like women of the military, something like that, you'll get like pictures of all the beautiful women in the IDF, and and they have them actually doing like modeling and stuff, and man, I would kill to have a Gal Gadot picture from back then. Man.
Oh, like when she was like active in the service?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I feel like there
nothing
is
like a woman in uniform.
Oh well, yes. First of all, yes. But I think there are photos of that because I remember one of the controversies she found herself at the target of was everybody was getting mad at her for playing somebody because she was Jewish and because she specifically had served in the military. I don't remember what that scandal was anymore. It's been like years, but I'm sure we could find it. I'll send you a secret collection, Don. Yeah, military. But so yeah, this is just the. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of them, Don. There's like.
Oh, I need this.
Like right there, like in uniform.
I need this for research.
Like more
pants down.
Like that's her again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Did you please order the code red?
I think only the middle one is her. But yeah, see, they exist.
Oh yes.
Is that her too? That can't be her. That's not her.
Yeah.
See, you can get that. That looks like this is such an obscure reference, but like a Command and Conquer 3. If anybody remembers, they had like pinups of their models. It kind of looks like that. But that's the one. This is the rumor for Batman Beyond. Not a lot past that. I know that like Drew, like there's a lot of people like Drew who believe that obviously Timothy is too tiny to play Batman, and well, I would agree. I would agree if. Huh?
I don't think he's too tiny. It's just like it's a bit of a departure from the traditional, build and everything. It's more of like the waifish build, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not a fan of the waifish type of like men or women. I like when I think of heroes, I like to think of kind of the ripped hero.
Right. No, I definitely get what you say, but like, and that's why if this was Bruce Wayne or like Batman, I would be on your side 100%. Like, kind of with Robert Pattinson. One of the big issues that a lot of people have with his Batman is that he's tiny, and he also didn't like put in the work to become Ben Affleck huge and roll tires all day. But because this is like, I always thought of Terry as sort of a like Spider-Man-y body type, you know, a little more agile. So I think this kid would actually make a good Peter Parker if I could see that too.
If Holland doesn't last, this kid would be a great replacement.
Well, at this point, with like all the Spider-Man films, like somehow canon, like Marvel hasn't revealed it, but that's clearly the direction they're going in, right?
Oh, so like, well, yeah, you know it's a matter of time. Miles Morales is coming, and they'll be like, "Yeah, who's Peter Parker? We don't need him."
Oh no, I mean
Tom Holland. Oh, the little girls would cry in their beds.
Oh man, they would. Just what do you think would make them more like despondent? Tom Holland being replaced, or three of them: Tom Holland, Tom Hiddleston, or Brie Larson.
Holland.
No, Holland.
Holland? You think it's finally changed all the way to Holland?
Hiddleston, he had his role. He had his time in the sun.
That's true.
10 years ago, it would have been the teens, but now they're in their 20s.
You're right.
They're
You're
trying
right.
to get their lives together. It's just like, okay, yeah, I need to.
They're writers at Marvel now.
Oh!
Mark 63366. Which Command and Conquer had Gina in it, by the way? Again, research purposes.
Gina Carano.
Jesus.
I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was 3. I'm pretty sure she was. Yeah, she was in Red Alert. Because
there was. I will say this. There was.
Whoops! Clicked on it.
She was in Red Alert 3. Okay.
Yeah, Red Alert 3.
Because there was
Command and Conquer.
There was a Command and Conquer game, by the way, you know, and you guys know that
she was the commander. Oh, come on,
obviously, with covering the Battlestar stuff, I do. You know, there was one of the Command and Conquer games that had Grace Park in it, and it also had Trisha Helper in it. Same game.
I remember that. It's Red Alert 3, isn't it? Isn't that
Trisha? It's actually it was Tiberium Wars. I want to say
that's right.
Okay.
I think you're right. I think it's Tiberium Wars.
Command and Conquer 3, Tiberium Wars, and it was like damn, you know, because they were both looking good, and Trisha was looking real good because she was wearing like a half shirt.
She was wearing the the Rocketeer jacket here. or that, whichever one you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah! Oh my gosh, it's been 30 years.
And they had you know, because I'll take Trisha Helper and Grace Park in anything. Same as I would Kate Sackhoff.
Look at this showdown: Randy Couture versus Gina Carano. What a microcosm of like the mid 2000s.
Well, man,
They Live movie, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Talk about strange fan requests. I wonder how many people asked Gina, like, "Hey, can you put me in a head scissors?"
Dude, I'm sure that's like, you know, when you go to cons and it's like, okay, you can like $5 for a photo, $10 for an autograph, $40 to get put in a headlock, like $70 to get like pile driven. I'm sure it's on the menu.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, there's plenty of guys that would pay that. Be like, yes.
This game also had freaking Tim Curry and J.K. Simmons. That's fantastic.
So we're seeing a pattern here. Gina Carano, guns, and martial artists.
Mm-hmm.
Gal Gadot, guns, Krav Maga.
There you go. That's all of them.
Oh, God. Who's the chick with the legs on the bottom? My God.
I forget like who everybody is nowadays. I just remember Gina because Gina is still around.
Oh my God!
They're all famous. everybody can look it up on their own time. And come to Pegasus Thursdays.
Good Lord, the legs.
I'll
on
be
that
coming
one.
to Pegasus.
the legs on that one. My God. Okay.
Legs on all of them. What are you talking about? They're all like 9 feet tall.
Yeah.
But that's Chalamet.
Back to Chalamet.
Back to Chalamet.
Do we even care after that?
No, I don't think so. That's why I was just about to wrap it up and move on to the next story. So that's what we've got for Batman Beyond. We've also gotten. Now we're going to get into the I would say the juicier stuff. So HBO Max, Green Lantern. We all know it's coming. We all know that there's interest in it. Apparently, there have been leaks of audition tapes. I think they were they were both video and audio, but they were deleted super fast. Luckily, Cosmic Book News was able to kind of transcribe them. But thanks to Cosmic Book and the Illuminati, we now have sort of a picture of where the show is going to go. So, be kind of almost beyond woke. Like it's a little over the top, to be honest. So we have 3 leads in the series. Our 3 lead lanterns will be Alan Scott, the original Lantern. We'll have Guy Gardner, one of the best lanterns, and a new character named Bree Jarta. Now, according to Bree Jarta's character description down here, she will be a black female in her 30s, described as someone who few lanterns take their commitment to the core and its purpose more seriously than Bree. Bree is half human, and it's the half she worked hard to forget. Bree has an alien mother and a human father. However, she was raised on a more enlightened planet with an advanced society. Bree outworked her peers and earned her ring, only to find herself partnered with Guy Gardner. So what's funny about this, as a lot of people on Twitter were pointing out, is why would you go with Bree Jarta when you have somebody like Jessica Cruz or Simon Baz at your fingertips to go?
Because not even the Latino community is good enough anymore.
Well, it's not even that. Other people were pointing out who created those characters. Ethan Van Sciver. The second they use any of those characters in a movie or anything,
he gets royalties.
Oh yeah, he gets money. He gets his name up in the big lights. And for somebody who's been so disruptive and so visually, like, what's the right word? So publicly disruptive. Like they know he exists. They see.
They don't want Uncle Ethan to get money.
They don't want They don't want him to get anything. They hope he fades away. I'm sure. Like I'm sure it kills them to know that he designed so many of the Lantern Corps. Like of all the spectrum. But so we have Bree Jarta, who's clearly our woke diversity lantern, but we've also got Guy Gardner, white male, 30s. Sounds about right. A hulking mass of masculinity, as rendered in the comics. So far, so good. Guy is a personification of the hyper-patriotism found in the 1980s that birthed Hulk Hogan and Rambo. However, Guy is still likable. He might act foolish, right? He might act foolish, but he is not a fool. Guy loves his daughter and wife with all of his hard-partying, fast-driving, hot-tempered heart. But like many alpha males, there is a deep undercurrent of pain driving it all.
Jesus Christ! I mean, come on.
This is that meme of the black kid, the high school football player, who's like, "You had me in the first half, not gonna lie," because all of this stuff, hulking masculinity, hyper patriotic, like Hogan and Rambo, that sounds like Guy Gardner. Like that sounds like the hard drinking, hard partying dude. But given kind of what we're seeing from the series, that it's not going to just be allowed to be. It's going to be a point of like criticism. Like they're always going to get on his case. Like, oh, I can't believe you're doing that. I can't believe you would act like that. I can't believe you would, so on and so forth.
Well, it's just a description. I think that It gets under my skin because, again, we're getting into that territory. When you read something like that, it translates to me like, okay, somebody like me that was born in '74 grew up in that era. Um, they're saying, well, people from that time were primitive and you know, were like were carrying too much baggage and they have too much pay. It makes it very disrespectful. It says that basically the Gen X era people are a bunch of incel homophobes and racists.
Right. That's exactly what they're painting. It's that line right here. The however guy is still likable. Well, like that's fine to me. If like I said, if they just played him up as that sort of 80s action hero and he was just allowed to be that, it would probably be a lot of fun. But if you're going to use him as the sort of straw man to launch your criticisms about the cis white males, then my eyes are just rolling out of my head.
Mm-hmm.
And then, let's see. We have Alan Scott, of course, the first Green Lantern, the Green Lantern who was in the thumbnail of this video. And it looks like they're going to be going with his Earth 2 incarnation, the New 52 Earth 2, where Alan was a gay man. As his description reads, Alan Scott, white male, 28 years old. From the outside, Alan is the model of early 1940s, the image of a G-man. Alan is handsome, clean-shaven, and well-dressed without a hair out of place. He has spent his young life trying to personify truth, justice, and the American way. He is already a household name in LA and is seen as a hero thanks to positive press coverage. However, for all of Alan's honesty, there is one huge lie that follows him. He is a gay man, a fact that, in his era, could cost him his job or even his life.
Yeah,
so
Jesus.
They're playing that angle up, which I'll admit, it sounds like you could play with something like it sounds like there's a good story to be told there. But
well, yeah, there is.
But the problem is with how they're framing the rest of the show. It doesn't seem like it's going to just be an earnest exploration of like one man's struggle. It's going to be this is why the world is so bad. Like this is why the straight whites were so bad. This is why you're all so bad. This is why you're all homophobes, instead of kind of preaching a normal message of, yeah, it sucked back then for, people like that, like for gay people, for lesbians, for anybody. And we have kind of a transcript, which is a little long, so I'm not going to go through the entire thing. But basically, it reveals that Alan is an FBI agent who is famous in LA because he recently took down a crime boss, like a big crime boss, but he doesn't really want to talk about any of his personal life. They ask him about his girlfriend, and he kind of says, that's my own personal business. Like, sorry, I got to get back to work. So there's also another scene that sees Scott punching a fellow agent for a gay joke, and another scene where someone tells him to not delay in starting a family. So, like, those are the moments right there that, because they're being highlighted, make it seem like it's not going to be incidental, but rather the message, the focus. And I'm not here for, that's not what I want out of a Green Lantern show. That's never what I wanted out of a Green Lantern show. I want them in space.
Well, this is because, again, this is what they are going to continue to bring to the table. They're going to take all these established good characters and take and toss them into agenda vehicles instead of stories that traditionally befit the character, and that, I think, is what just drives me up a wall. I never ever trust anything superhero now, especially post MCU. I just after the last Avengers movie, I think I was kind of done with it then. But yeah, the more that I see of what's coming out in comics and then what they're turning into series, yeah, I am not optimistic whatsoever. especially with the portrayals of the heroes that we enjoy. I know Don's concerned about it. I know Phil's concerned about it. When they bring the X-Men into the MCU, how bad they're going to screw that up. Because we're already they've already done it in the comics.
Oh,
and
we're gonna see. So you know how like the X-Men are kind of notorious for their story and their sort of world being a mess. Everybody's related to that person. There's a time traveler. There's a clone. There's everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get an MCU version of that because now they've already shot themselves in the foot with the Inhumans. Now they're going to have to like justify how do the Inhumans exist with the mutants and how do it's going to be a mess. It's going to be bad. It's going to be ham-fisted.
So what are they going to do? Have an Inhuman mutant war?
Yeah, it's already been done in the comics.
Oh yeah, it's already been done in the comics, and it resulted in the death of all the mutants, and then they had to walk that back once they got the rights back. And now Wolverine and Cyclops and Jean are in a polyamorous relationship and all sleep in the same bed. I don't freaking know anymore. It's so bad. Wolverine wouldn't do that. Dan Scott wouldn't do that.
No, and that's what I'm saying. It's just I want my good X-Men back. Give me X-Men from the 90s back.
Dude, a lot of those voice actors just died. Cyclops died, Magneto died. It sucks.
Yeah, I know. But
do not wish this juju on us, Tehillim. Do not wish this on us. I do not want to see Bendis' Naomi ever make another appearance in anything.
Oh, God.
For anybody who doesn't remember, Naomi is Bendis's Teen Titans insert. That's just another clone of his Miles Morales character. He writes the same character all the time, which is like young black kid because he has a black daughter. Like I'm pretty sure she's either adopted or from his wife. Either way, he has a black daughter, and so he always like self-inserts her, but it always results in the same damn character.
Yeah. No.
Huh.
No, it's like Drew, okay, Bendis can write that back in 2008?
Yeah.
But he can't write that anymore. He can't write that character anymore because the cancel culture will eat themselves alive.
Well, there's a scene in...
He's a white man writing a black woman.
In one of the recent number ones for Miles Morales, I'm pretty sure it was the one that came right out of Secret Wars. There's a whole scene where a YouTube what's his name? Gank tells Miles hey, come look at this, and he shows him this video of a YouTuber who is freaking out. Her entire video is her going did you see the fight between Spider-Man and whomever? Did you see his costume tear? Oh my God, we have a black Spider-Man. This is the greatest thing ever. He's black. This is everything. And Miles goes, what is this? I don't like this. I don't want to be a black Spider-Man. I just want to be Spider-Man. I want to be judged on who I am rather than what people think I represent. And Bendis got a huge wave of backlash for that. It was people were how dare you? This is a celebration for Miles. You've just given white supremacist ammo, and it was just ridiculous. And so you're right. You're just 100% right. You can't
win.
If he writes that character and that character isn't 100% perfect, it's over. It's done.
Well, that's the funny thing,
that's right. It's Young Justice, not Teen Titans.
The activism society thinks that they hold so much sway over this stuff, and in the end, when they're bitching, pissed, and moaning about these characters, they don't even know what they want in a character. They're just sitting there bitching to bitch. And that's, I think, what the most frustrating thing is. Because these people, at their core, aren't really serious. They don't want the character changed because they don't have a better thing to change it to. All they want to do is bitch and say, oh my God, marginalized, but they're not giving a concrete thing of, well, this character would be better because this, and this. And
it's just like when you have a little kid and the kid is like, I'm hungry. And you go, okay, what do you want? I don't know. I'm hungry. Okay. Do you want pizza? No, I don't want pizza. Do you want cereal? Do you want a burger? No. But I'm hungry. I want food. That's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's frustrating, and that's why, again, I am so thankful for our readers and for people that seek out independent opinions, independent news, and things of that nature, because anymore you have to do that, because the authoritarianism around us, the activism that promotes authoritarianism, it's not going away. As a matter of fact, folks, it's going to ramp up. And when you give it an open, rampant voice like it has, and a platform like it has, it's going to creep in everywhere. Because after a while, as we were just talking about, Bendis getting flack for that, you're going to get it to where a white writer cannot write hardly anything. And
that's the point we're getting
to that point.
Already. That's kind of the question I've always asked myself as somebody who wants to draw comics and write comics like in the future. Am I supposed, like, these activists, quote unquote, demand, like, you know what? We want more black characters. But the second someone non-black writes a black character, it's blackface. You can't do that. That's wrong. And you can't give them character depth, because if your black character gets hurt, that's racism, because why did he get hurt in a fight? If your black character does something morally questionable, well, now you're just being racist because you're saying all black people are evil or do bad things. And it's like, holy crap, what the hell do you want from us? That's why, like, it sucks, because I think you're right, Drew. For the longest time, and John's brought this up constantly, for the longest time, I was one of those people who thought we were kind of hitting that tipping point where everybody was just getting sick of all of this, to the point where they would just finally go, just go play in your corner, just shut up and leave us alone. But we got to that, like, testing point, and we failed. And so now we're just getting they're doubling down, they're injecting it into everything. They're calling people, they're threatening to kill people and dox people because they wore a hairstyle in Animal Crossing. Like, it's gotten out of hand. Like,
absolutely, it's out of hand. Absolutely.
Right, exactly, Alex. If a black character is not of their ideology, racist, blah, 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 you can't win. You just can't win.
Yeah. I would like to see what would happen if somebody actually wrote somebody that was, in the sort of America First style patriot type of character that was a person of color. Wonder how much flack the writer would catch for that.
That's a really good point. I mean, again, the only ones I can think of really are like the Black Captain Americas. And even then they've, like, okay, so I don't know if you know, like, Marvel that well, Drew, but there used to be the group, the Young Avengers, and Young Avenger, the Captain America was Eli. He was a black kid, and he was like a descent, of Isaiah, the very first test, or not, sorry, he was
one of the first test subjects for the super soldier serum,
which was like Weapon
Cap got it.
One at that. It was like called Weapon One at that time or something, I believe. So his code name was Patriot, and he was really popular for a long time. And then in like maybe around Civil War II, it was Civil War II, they introduced a new black kid who was like your stereotypical new character who's like the victim of racial injustice and all that kind of stuff. And they gave him the code name Patriot, and they just erased the other one. They just said goodbye. Like, he doesn't exist anymore. We're not going to comment on it. He went back to his home planet. He just disappeared. And that's and that's exactly like the display of it. You had a good character who represented America's like the good ideals despite the bad like realities, but now that kind of character doesn't vibe with the base that they want to appeal to.
Well, no, it's pushed out of the way. It's pushed out of the way for good reason. Because once you start promoting patriotism and you tell people it's okay to love your country, it's okay to want people to be successful. It's okay to be successful on your own, and it's okay to do hard work. You want to put those ideas forth. And unfortunately, the current activist culture wants those ideas hush hush or thrown to the side because
dude, they want to brand it like white supremacy to support any of those ideas. Mm-hmm. Like what was it? Like the idea of like a job well done. I remember seeing somebody advocating that the idea of wanting to do like that, wanting to get that feeling of a job well done was itself like some form of racism, some form of white supremacy. And I was just dude, what is this? And you're not fighting for anything now. You're just fighting for laziness.
Wasn't the idea of a nuclear family?
That's absolutely.
They hated that as a racist ideology.
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't understand it. Like it's all just it's like we were saying, Drew. It's they will cry and bitch and moan until they get their way forever.
Well, cultural. Listen, the fact of the matter is what's happening. With cultural Marxism, basically taking over right now.
Right.
That runs directly counter to convincing people that they're marginalized or they're in this box or that box. Because if you say, you can be successful, you can have a wife and a child and, the American dream. Well, that runs counter to that because people will start working toward that and start ignoring, the loudmouth activists, and they don't want that because telling people that you can be successful, you can have a traditional family. Well, guess what? That means that they're not dependent on social programs. They're not dependent on saying, I'm marginalized. They're out there doing something to better themselves. And they want people that are a captive audience, that are stuck on social programs, that are sitting there saying, well, I can't do this for myself, and they want them to feel helpless because this is part of the way that they, indoctrinate new people to that sort of cause. And this is it's very sinister and sick, but those ideas are discouraged now, unfortunately, and they're the very ideas I know that I grew up on, and it's sad that people nowadays, especially impressionable youth, are being taught different. And it's sad.
No, yeah, I'm 100% there with you, and I almost wonder if it's sort of a problem with. Oh my God, I just lost my train of thought.
No, we had a story a few weeks ago about this woman that had taken over the HBO Max series, in charge of creative content, and she flat out says it's going to be Marxist ideology.
Oh, that's right. She's
all the programming across the board.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just stood there with my mouth agape. Like, how did this not get into all the mainstream's minds of like, holy shit, this lady's going to promote Marxism across all the boards of entertainment for HBO Max?
Because here's the problem.
Anything.
The entire problem that with that situation and with what Drew was saying is that, oh my God, why do I keep freaking losing my train of thought every 2 seconds when I want to make this point?
Right. Oh, let it flow. It will come to you. But But the thing is, think about this, guys. Like classic movies, it's going to be harder. I can. Oh God, I'm gonna go. Okay, I'll go on and make a prediction now. Within the next 5 years, it is going to be nigh impossible to go on to streaming and find classic movies like Red Dawn, Commando, Delta Force, things like that, Rambo's, stuff along those lines, because they are going to get rid of that patriotic, one man can make a difference archetype as much as possible.
5 years?
Mm-hmm. It's going to be nearly impossible to find those unless you have physical.
I think it'll be. I don't know if it'll go so far as being unavailable, because movies like Rambo are moneymakers, right? But I do see more disclaimers before things. Like we ran the story yesterday about an episode of Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends now has a disclaimer apologizing for its quote unquote negative depictions of Japanese people, even though in the episode there's nothing really that bad about how they're shown. Like they have kind of stereotypical accents, but as an Asian person with family who literally came off the boat, it's what it sounds like. Like I don't take offense to it. I mean, I'm not Japanese, but it's just one of those matters of the world, like people have accents.
We got Drew down for 5 years, Rambo, Commando, all of these shows being removed, deplatformed. Spencer, in the next 5 years, there will be an increase in disclaimers.
Yes.
I'm going to say in the next 5 years, because I'm an optimist, we're going to have alternative platforms for streaming this stuff.
I hope so.
Like, there's going to be another awakening.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to preach now. There's going to be another awakening.
I hope
There's
so.
going to be a lot of people saying that the mainstream media, a lot of these Hollywood executives who have been pushing all this agenda stuff, we're tired, we're sick, we don't want our stuff canceled. We're tired of our actors and our actresses who have voiced their opinions being canceled. We need to give them work. Hire Gina Carano, hashtag. We need to start making our own platform, giving these voices a place and a freedom. And there it is. We're going to see that alternative media rise up within the next 5 years.
Well, I do seem to recall, and I believe it was Antonio Sabato Jr. said that he was specifically going to start a more conservative production company to try
I remember hearing about that.
To try to combat the influx of all this sort of craziness in Hollywood. And I had read an article somewhere about that, and I haven't heard anything about it since. Now, to go along with what you said, Don, I hope he's successful, because that, anything that is an alternative will be sort of the blueprint to go forward and for more alternatives to pop up.
Yeah, I would say it probably won't be Republican. It'll probably be freer in its content and less restrictive in allowing those voices to speak about things, because I want to see some softcore again. Sorry. And I'm not going to see that on the Republican.
Skinamax, baby.
Kids these days have it too good. They don't know anything about browsing staticky channels at 3 a.m. just to get a glimpse of a side boob.
They don't know anything about Lady Chatterley, damn it.
Red Shoe Diaries, Dream On back in the day, just all those classics that you just want.
I like how you know the names. Like you knew you're the scholar. I was the one who was just in awe of it all. There was booby. But speaking of this sort of Marxism and where our entertainment is kind of heading, it's really interesting because that's kind of what happens in a scene between Guy Gardner and what's her name? Jarta, I believe. Brie Jarta. So in a scene that there was an audition tape for, we have Gardner and Jarta visiting a southern restaurant whose owners proudly display and boast about a Confederate flag, and where the latter is reportedly refused service because of her skin color. There's also a key point to her story will be this sort of right here. She tries to insert herself into a mission to track down the Dominators, who apparently killed several Lanterns while she was she was just absent. You know, kind of one of those survivor's guilt things. But according to kind of the description, it sounds like she's going to be that character who's like, hey, Sergeant, I want to do it. Like, I know what's going on. Listen to me. And the Sergeant, I don't know, maybe it's Kilowog, is straight up just being the normal person. Like, hey, shut up. You're like a rookie. Chill out. Like, you're not doing this right. But then, of course, here it is. Though she claims to have key intel on the enemy, her superior keeps brushing her off, ham-fistedly reinforcing the idea that Jarta is constantly undercut and must always fight to prove her worth. Like, it's just it's a girl power character. Like, these kind of characters are pretty boring, just in general, to me at least.
Yeah, didn't they have something like that back in the day? I think it was called G.I. Jane.
That movie wasn't it? I remember that. Who was in that movie? That was
That was Demi Moore.
That was Demi Moore, and she buzzed her head. And I remember that, like back in the '90s, that was like a scandal.
Yeah, but yeah, she did that movie. I don't remember how well it did. I heard it was like the big buzz in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I wasn't interested, and I don't think there was a lot of general interest in it.
Wasn't that a Ridley Scott movie?
I can't remember for the life of me.
Oh, it was a box office failure, grossing $48 million on a $50 budget.
There you go.
So if you factor in the advertising, that means didn't even make half of its total like budget. That sucks. But basically, that's what we have. Another transcript here that kind of plays out that scene between Jarta and her Green Lantern Corps officer. Like right here, like, you're not looking for justice, you're looking for revenge. Sometimes those are one and the same. Like, it's just very, very, what's the right word? Basic kind of writing. Like, this is a basic character. I can see every plot beat. You have, this restaurant was racist to me. Guy Gardner goes, what was racist about it? And she gives a heartfelt story, and then Guy Gardner has his revelation. I don't know. It's just, I've seen it all before. I've seen it in like every 90s cartoon ever. But that's the leaks for Green Lantern. So it's not looking good. It's looking pretty bad. Clearly they're avoiding the big lanterns like John and Hal. I don't know why nobody wants to give Kyle any attention. He's my favorite Lantern, but Kyle gets no love anymore. But I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about it. I'm kind of bummed because the thing that bugs me the most about this, I think, is about how Earth-centered it is. Like, if you're giving me a Green Lantern series, I want it to be in space. I want you to be space cop in it. I want it to be like almost like Doctor Who style, where every episode is kind of a different planet, a different creature, a different situation. I don't want, generic, what's the right word? Like redneck caricatures. We've seen it. It's boring. Give us something new. But on that note of it's boring, give us something new. It looks like Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Disney Plus series, is going the same way, as an alleged casting call reveals that it's seeking a bi-POC female co-lead and a Latinx supporting actor.
Here we go.
Now, just to clarify, guys, none of us here on our staff believe in that term, Latinx. We all think it's garbage. The only reason it's there because I've gotten a lot of feedback these last few weeks from our like Latino and Latina readers saying, we don't like that word. Don't you know that? We don't like it. None of them were mad at me. They were just saying, hey, we don't like that word. And I just want to tell them, I hear you. I have to say it, though, because that's the word they used. They specifically use these words like they did with Yara Flores or whatever her name is, the Wonder Girl, who's getting her own CW series.
Oh.
But, right, it's just, we're seeing the rise of the Latinx, and I think it was what was it Deviant last week said it sounds like an X-Men team because it absolutely like Latin X,
Phantom X,
Phantom X. But this report comes to us again from our friends at the Illuminati, who gave us the character details for the Green Lantern story we just went over, and the alleged casting call has 4 roles on it. It has Riley, a female in her 20s who will be a co-lead to Obi-Wan, who is described as a female BIPOC whose character details are being kept under wrap. Tia, a female in her 30s, will be a supporting character. Again, they're looking for a BIPOC, a bi-POC. Harold, who is a supporting male. Literally nothing else about him except he's quirky and comedic. He's the only person on this casting sheet they described with a personality. I don't think
with
that's
internal qualities.
Exactly. I don't like, to me, the only person on this list who seems like a character is Harold. And I don't think for a show that seems this quote unquote woke, I don't think that's what they were intending. I think it completely backfired on them. I think they wanted the interesting stuff to be, oh, a bi-POC, a Latinx, yay. But I want to know more about the guy who actually has substance.
And just the suckiest name ever. Harold?
Harold.
That's like Peter from Deadpool 2.
Oh, yeah.
You remember when they give his reveal and it's like, wow, I want to see the movie where the regular guy is just flying through the air with a parachute.
That was so good. What was it? I think it was either the Illuminati or somebody I was talking to on Twitter said that these are probably placeholder names, so don't get attached to them. And I kind of hope so, because I don't want to run into like a character in Star Wars named Harold. Like,
That's kind of funny.
Yeah. Hey, it's just Harold over there.
Oh man, we got it. Unless he's a Sith and they call him Darth Harold, I will.
You know, I mean, God, I jokingly call half the NPCs when I'm running around the division, killing them. Like, hey, oh, there's Harold over there. I'll just shoot him.
Right?
You know?
It's just one of those generic names that you don't really ascribe to your like main characters.
Your 5th level Sith Lord.
But so for those,
Chris Neville, nice.
Yeah, Chris Neville.
You're a Jedi, Harry.
You're a Jedi, Harry. That's fantastic.
Oh God, that's great.
But for those who don't know, BIPOC stands for Black and Indigenous People of Color. It's a term that has seen traction in the last year, maybe.
Yeah, it's another stupidity term, folks.
Oh, it not only is it another stupidity term, but it's a particularly racist one, because by stating that you're only looking for Black and Indigenous people of color, it's clearly excluding Latinos, Hispanics, Asians, anybody who's not white. Like, it's a pretty messed up acronym. I didn't even like people.
Spencer, back in the day when we were streaming with Phil, he had the problem with the use of color in the wording.
Oh, I do too. Yeah. I absolutely hate it. The fact that it's people of color.
You're calling us colored?
Exactly. It's literally just flipping the order of the words around, and somehow it became okay. Like, people of color, colored people. And now you see it again when you see things like the like diversity and inclusion summits that companies that like Lucasfilm and Disney hold. They have, this is the workshop for the white people, and this is the workshop for the POC. And that's not as progressive as I think they think it is.
Well, no, the thing that I'm more alarmed about is, again, you've got all these crazy terms and boxes that they're lumping people into. If now this is just a wild stretch, and I know I'm going like putting the tinfoil on now, but look,
it worries me that you actually always have tinfoil at the ready for these moments.
but the thing is if it gets out of hand, with the COVID stuff. There was already a story floating around about somewhere, it's like either Australia or New Zealand. They actually put people in camps to quote unquote get the spread down. I mean, what are they going to do?
Well, I saw it in Australia. They were there was that one woman who like tweeted asking like, "Hey, are we still allowed to go outside to walk a dog?" And the like Australian police force was like, "Nope, you're not allowed outside for exercise or walking your dog. You stay inside." And I was like, "Dude, that's what?"
Yeah, well, it's like, scary stuff.
Dogs gotta go.
Yeah, it's scary stuff, and that's what I'm saying. If it gets out of hand, are they going to come up with a brilliant idea of stick people in camps? Are we going to be categorized by these terms? Oh, you don't fit here, so we're sticking you in the Asian X camp.
The Asian mutant camp, I'd go there. There was literally, I think it's like New York or LA, one of the big central cities in America recently was talking about like giving people like COVID ID cards, saying like you get tested and if you're free of symptoms and everything, then you get this card that says you can go outside and you can do whatever you want. But if you get tested and you have the symptoms, you get a different card that says, I have it, I've had it, I can't go anywhere. And that's like insane to me. That's
it is. They're already,
exactly.
They're already talking about restricting travel if you don't get the vaccine. I mean, it's we're getting into crazy times. Guys, I highly suggest. By the way, folks, like I said, I play the Division 2. Playing Division 2 right now. Jump on there because you can get your pandemic survival training down to a T.
It is really weird how like that game kind of parallels what's going on.
It does. It's crazy right now. And
airborne disease that kind of clears the streets and quarantines everybody. It is. I started playing that game on my Xbox right at the start of the pandemic.
Yeah, Roof Korean 92. Yeah, that's funny. The boss at the end of the Air and Space Museum mission spawns in a huge plane bomb, and his nickname is Steve. Yes, it is. It's pretty hilarious.
In Astral Chain, the super anime game on the Switch, there's like an underground like gang leader who kind of like an Aladdin style gang where they steal to survive, but he's got the super badass look. He's got like double swords, like really long dreads, scary face mask, and his name is literally Kyle. Mm-hmm. Like that's just his name. It's just Kyle, and he has no secret code name, nothing better. He's just Kyle. He even says it in like his big intro font. It's really funny.
Yeah. Mark 63366 says he loves the Asian X term. Yeah, that's our thing. We are now Asian X. Before they brand us with it, we're branding ourselves.
No, I don't know. I don't know if you heard me last week, but I was telling Dawn that I saw somebody I saw people using the term Philippines, and I almost lost it. Like I threw my computer like out this window.
I would seriously, man. If I saw that person, I would be like, what's wrong with you?
Like wait, is it Philippine with the F or with the PH?
With the F. So was it a Filipino or Filipina? It was Philippine X, and I wanted to. I felt like the Indian in that old littering commercial, like just one single tear started rolling down my cheek.
No, I wouldn't cry. I would just like want to severely harm the person. Roof Korean, by the way, if I know that you play the PC version as well as I. If you jump on there when we could get on together, I will get you into the clan that we have on that game because we do have a clan on there.
Dude, it's so fun. I want to get on it when my PC is built. But back to Obi-Wan and how woke we're getting. So this is what they're looking for. They're looking for bi POCs, specifically females. They specifically want a female bi POC lead for a co-lead to star, like I guess, alongside Obi-Wan. Which a lot of people were asking, why does Obi-Wan even need like a co-lead? Like he's Obi-Wan. Why not make it like the Mandalorian. Like the Mandalorian is aside from Baby Yoda, it's not like he has a team. It's not an anime. It's not One Piece. But for the who was it? For Riley, the bi-POC female co-lead, we have 3 rumored candidates. We have God, I'm going to screw these up so bad. Thuso Mbedu, Anula Navlekar, and Naomi Scott, who everybody knows from Aladdin. The first 2 are like up and coming actresses. They're really relatively unknown in America.
Naomi Scott.
I take the one either on the left or the one on the far right. Hell yeah.
Princess Jasmine, yeah, of course.
It's so weird. I normally would agree with you guys. I would normally agree with you guys, but for some reason, when I was like looking at this graphic and writing this article, I was like really vibing with Anula in the middle there. I don't know why.
Oh man, I don't know.
Dude, she looks like she lost a few sandwiches in the subway. You know?
That's fine. I'll make them for her. I'll make her lunch, damn it.
Listen, you know, I've had the opportunity in life, man, to date some beautiful black women, and that girl on the left is banging. And so,
guys,
she's really pretty. She's really pretty.
Let's get away from the Hollywood headshots here. Remember what Rian Johnson did to Kelly Marie, to the beauty that
Kelly
is
Marie
Kelly
Tran.
Marie Tran.
Yeah, I know. He made her all frumpy.
This is Star Wars, so they will take those women and they will put them in the sackcloth that is the freaking
like Jedi robes.
It's this make them look like High Republic.
What about Gina though? Gina looks great all the time.
Yeah, but that's not Kathleen Kennedy is barely on set for that one.
Oh, that's true. I do.
And
remember,
then when Jon
rumors,
Favreau and Filoni came in, they were like, "Okay, let's get all our shit done right now before Kathleen gets on set and starts ruining everything." So
Gina's a smoke.
Like getting the group project done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
that
just like
picture, that selfie she posted from set the other day.
Yeah.
Blowing up the internet there, my friends.
Yeah. You know the other chick, the man I kind of like currently that's pretty hot that I kind of got a crush on is Aubrey Plaza. Not gonna lie.
Oh no, I've had one on her since Parks and Rec, like way back in the day.
Aubrey Plaza is a hot.
Or in Scott Pilgrim. I remember Scott Pilgrim. But yeah, that's what we're looking at for Obi-Wan Kenobi. It looks like. I mean, we have no other details on what the story is going to be, what direction it's going to be in.
It's absolutely. We already know. Listen.
Oh yeah, no, of course.
This is going to irrevocably ruin the character of Obi-Wan Kenobi. You know, it's not going out on a limb to say that. It's not a prediction. It's a spoiler. We know that.
I feel like I might be in the minority here because I think just the fact that we're getting a series at all has destroyed the character, because the character was supposed to drop Luke off right here. I have it at the very bottom. He gets Luke from Padme, or Luke and Leia, and then he takes Leia to Bail, and then he takes Luke to Tatooine, and we know, then we see him in A New Hope, and he admits that, like, hey, I spent the last 30 years kind of just hiding out. I've been hermiting. So now Disney's going to tell us that he wasn't really a hermit, but he was out trapezing around the galaxy with what's her name, Riley. Like he had a best black friend the entire time that we've never heard about.
Now is this all the stuff from the rewrites of the script that Kennedy told him to go back to the drawing board for?
This is post drawing board apparently.
Yeah, this show's not going to happen. I don't think so.
Yeah, so for people who don't remember, last week, so
2019, guys.
Yeah, 2019. That we got a report that, wasn't it earlier this year?
It was on stage. It was on stage. Kathleen Kennedy brought Ewan McGregor brought him on stage. Everybody went nuts and said, "Hey, we've got the scripts. The scripts are written.
Yes,
and we're ready to go with the show." And then months went by, and she says, "No, we got you gotta take those scripts back. They are not to my liking. And the same with Cassian Andor scripts. It brought on Cassian.
I forgot even about that.
And then, the scripts are ready to go. And nope.
Not
months and months later, nothing.
So 2019 was when they said we've got the scripts, and then earlier this year we got Collider reported that the entire crew had been sent home, and this was before lockdowns had even started. Like this
written
was
by
January.
Drew Taylor of Collider, by the way.
God.
The inferior Taylor, but Collider reported that everybody had been sent home, and they kind of were indicating that it was done because Kathleen Kennedy hated everything that they had written so far. So at that point, the word is Kathleen demanded everything get thrown out, and they went right back to the drawing board. And so this is actually like the first piece of news we've had, like I said to Don, post drawing board. So this is it's like Drew said. It's like Drew said. We can kind of tell exactly where this is going to go.
It's going. It's going. Oh, it's not.
Did you? You thought Ray? You thought Ray was bad. Whoever Riley is, unless they pull it off. Which, you know what? I'll give them benefit of the doubt. There's a chance, but I doubt it. I said pull it off, not pull it out. Either way, but the hope is just not high there. It's just not there for me.
No, it's not there for me either. I mean, they're gonna dress him up in the potato sack cloths. They're gonna.
Kathleen Kennedy's dog. If Kathleen Kennedy's dog really ate the script, I would accept that more than I didn't like the script. Let's throw him out. Because I just after spending the last couple of weeks reading like Star Wars Legacy, especially, and just thinking of that Kathleen Kennedy quote about how they didn't have comics and or anything to pull from, it blows my mind every time I think about it. It's so frustrating.
Yeah. There was also this thing of like they've got all these shows, they've got all these characters that people are like, okay, those characters that we are getting introduced to in The Mandalorian, they need their own shows.
Right.
Why are they continuing down this path of like, we're going to get this show woke and we're going to get it done no matter what, because people want to see woke woke Ian McGregor getting bossed around by a bunch of his co-leads.
No, it is weird because like with all of those shows, they have different vehicles. You know, go make Cassian Andor woke. That character doesn't have a history. He's not really a character. He showed up for one movie and then got blown up. But like, don't force this on the character who everybody fell in love with for years and years and years and years and years. I feel like
that's the problem. You know, they seem to want to take like the legacy stories, legacy characters, and appropriate those because those seemingly have the most impact. But what they don't realize is it's having the opposite effect. Well, I think they realize it, but they're still using the legacy stuff because, you know, they feel they can reach people, and I think they probably, to some degree, enjoy torturing and alienating the legacy fandom.
Oh, I mean, it's not just the legacy fandom; it's all fandoms in general. I would argue. Ooh. because like if they appropriate something people know, it's the impact, but it's also that recognition. You know, somebody will buy Spider-Man, you know, regardless of who's under the mask, more than somebody would buy Black Arachnia or whatever you would want to call Miles in an alternate reality.
Black Arachnid. Oh gosh.
Dude, Black Arachnia, cool. Exactly. It sounds pretty rad. It sounds a lot better than Miles Morales Spider-Man. Just take away his stupid zap power. I hate that zap power so much. But like to me, Drew, I think you're right, because the fundamental problem is something like this, where you have something like, let's say, I'm going to take something just like Dragon Ball, right? Or One Piece or any manga in Shonen Jump. And those stories are directed specifically towards boys. But then you get a lot of people who go, hey, I like, girls, there are so many Dragon Ball and One Piece fangirls. They love it. And they read the stories too. The problem is in America, at least in the West, when these sort of like publishers and companies start catching wind of that, like, oh, look, there's a lot of women coming to watch this. We should tailor it to them now. Let's make sure they feel welcome but they're missing the entire point of why they were coming there in the first place. These they weren't coming to this story because it was appealing to their feminine like senses. I don't know. This all sounds really, really.
They weren't appealing to feminine sensibility. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And so the female readers liked those male centric stories. They liked, people beating each other up. They don't want Goku and Vegeta to have a discussion about their bipolar disorder or how Luffy forgot to take his meds and has been on a 3-day like nap.
Bender?
A 3-day bender. Like I would watch Luffy on a drunk bender. Like, I'm not gonna lie. But that's just what they do. They fail to realize why people were drawn in the first place, and they try to change it. And it's just, unfortunately, it's worked. I don't even know if it's working. We see this stuff leaking money all the time. But they've got $1 million. Like, it's Disney. They are money. Like,
they're losing money though.
They are.
That's the thing that they've got to square with at some point, which is like, this stuff is not making us money, but we're continuing to push it out. Because why? Because we see this as the future, but then the future doesn't want to invest in the things that you're putting out.
Right.
So
exactly.
what the hell? It's just like a self-defeating thing that you're putting out. You think that they want to see it, and they applaud you for making the thing, but they aren't seeing it. They aren't spending their money on it. But the things that they were producing, we were watching it, and we were buying all the merchandise. We were buying all that shit, all the residuals.
100%.
And, it's just like, what do? We cater to the few who are buying all of our shit, or we cater to the many, or who we perceive as the many.
That kind of links back to what you and I were talking about at the very beginning, where they look at like people like us, like fans like us, as givens. They literally take us for granted. They assume that if I put out a Batman book, they're buying that Batman book. It doesn't matter what it's about. It doesn't matter who's under the mask, who's writing it. These fans will buy sales. Exactly. But look at the sales. Everything. I mean, we went over it the last time John was with us before he went on vacation. No American comic books are ranking on the top 10 graphic novels. It's all indie comics and it's all manga. Like, and so I know John always says that these companies have so much money that they'll just keep pushing it because the agenda is the most important thing. I don't know when what it'll take for somebody like Disney to finally throw in the towel.
Right.
Just, they have so much freaking money. Disney does live on good press, Mark, but the problem is, and I think Don and I talked about this last week too, there's no good press this year for them. Everything has been bad because normally in a normal year, when they do something crappy, they can balance it out by saying, oh, but you know what? Here comes a Pixar movie. Here comes a new Star Wars film. Here comes a new addition
Marvel
to our a new Marvel film or a new theme park attraction. They could play that game of covering their bad events with the good ones, or the quote unquote good ones, the PR ones. But this year, because they haven't been able to release anything, they haven't been able to announce anything or do anything, we just get to see all of their crappy moves in a row. Between they're withholding royalties from Alan Dean Foster to Marvel's Avengers itself. Just nothing looks good for them this year, and that's
theme parks
all on them.
Continue to be closed in California, despite Florida still being open and still making some fraction of money. And then theme parks across the world still open, making money with restrictions, though, because of, the thing that should not be named.
Yeah, but everybody's too drunk.
It's just like they're still losing money, and there's nothing to look forward to make up for that.
Right. I mean, it's looking even more dire for them with their hints of dumping almost everything on their slate right now to Disney Plus. Because I know that there's word that Black Widow will go there.
Yep.
And then I saw something the other day that was like Cruella and Peter Pan and whatever else they have like pretty much done. They're all thinking about dumping that on Disney Plus, and that, like, compared to the box office returns, that's just abysmal for them. That's not their model.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing, though, Mark. I want the con man to get caught eventually. The problem is this particular rodent con man isn't really good at getting away.
Mm-hmm.
It's the too big to fail thing.
It really
Remember the housing crisis? Remember the housing crisis?
Yeah.
All those bankers, one after another, given golden parachutes after completely fucking over the economy, and it just sickened me. This is what brought about what they call it, the sit-ins at Wall Street. Yeah, the Occupy movement.
Wall Street.
People just frustrated with all this bullshit movement at the top tier levels of the people who really run the country, because these guys really run the country, and they are too big to fail. Disney is too big to fail. They are a big entertainment enterprise, and
that's isn't that like our main export nowadays? Is our entertainment?
Yeah,
like
that's our main,
and especially thing. Disney. Like,
God damn,
what country doesn't love Disney? Go to any country in the world, you'll find some old lady wearing a Mickey Mouse sweater, like.
And I still think they're making money off of the old stuff.
Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Oh, like their old films and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody's retreating back to the old stuff.
It is kind of like
because that's the only kind of escape or solace that you have. It's either watch a bunch of terrible, wokeness garbage, or watch the old classics that made you enjoy this type of entertainment.
They got you into it in the first place, right?
Right. And it really isn't much of a choice when presented with that. You're like, well, I'll go to the old stuff every time.
It's a really insidious plan. They're literally making the disease and selling you the cure at the same time. And it wouldn't surprise me if we talked the last couple of weeks about John looking at the Star Wars Legacy volumes and how they're like $300-$400. Wouldn't surprise me if that's just some like Disney arm. There's like the official like reselling division of Disney,
the old stuff. Yeah, there's like a box set of like all the Disney classic movies, and we remember those movies like they were like freaking the greatest thing to since sliced bread.
Yeah,
Lion King,
you fell in love with them.
Aladdin, freaking even. Goddamn, like Beauty and the Beast, we admire that CG scene of them dancing, even though it's kind of a girly movie. But we remember them fondly, and we'll show our kids that stuff. That's the thing. Right. We're going to show our kids the old stuff that we grew up with so they can love it. And then we're just feeding into that thing of, oh, Disney made good stuff. And then the kids are like, well, just we'll watch the new stuff.
Right, but that makes me wonder, because it's not even, if you take away sort of everybody's feelings about like SJWs and wokeism and social issues and politics, and you just look at the Disney films as the final completed product they are, there's still a very big difference in quality between current movies and old movies. The current movies just don't hold up as films, right? So it's going to be interesting, because it sounds like we're going to have people like us raising our kids on the classics of the Beauty and the Beast, the Fox and the Hounds, and then you're going to have another set of kids being raised on Force Awakens and Rise of Skywalker and whatever the hell else. And eventually they're going to, it seems like it's just going to be a perpetual battle from here on out. And it worries me because like, where does it end?
Because it's two kinds of things teaching two kinds of things to kids. Mm-hmm. One, you have this inherent power in you to do all the things that you want to do without effort, without skill. It's just because of the thing that's in you. And people pointed out it's the thing that's in Mulan too. Mm-hmm. Mulan has this chi inside of her that makes her special and above and beyond everybody else.
So bad, yeah.
Versus like the old Mulan movie where she had to like work around her inconsistencies with her strength and her abilities to get the tasks done.
Yeah, it's kind of like the difference. I bring up a lot when I talk about manga in my articles where like early Dragon Ball and One Piece, those were all those battles were kind of beaten by skill. You know, Goku doing a Kamehameha out of his feet, or Luffy bouncing around a room and realizing that he doesn't get zapped by electricity. But then you start getting later into the series and it just becomes who is more powerful, who has the bigger power. And that's exactly what's happened with Disney. Mulan is like your generic, she is a Mary Sue in that movie. Like there's literally no other way to describe it. She's just good at everything because she has that chi, and it's just bad. Yeah. Mark, if you can find a copy of Song of the South, I would recommend starting a black market. Yeah.
Media.
Not only save it, but also start a black market. I will buy a copy. I don't remember the last time I even came close to knowing where that film was in my collection.
I would say even the old Dumbo film.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the story of Brer Rabbit.
The Aristocats.
Yeah.
The Aristocats with the Chinese or the Siamese cats, and they play.
With the Siamese cats, I remember that scene.
And then there's that one like other Asian cat who plays like piano with chopsticks and totally does the like squinty eyes. Like it's pretty bad, but but yeah, just because they're bad, I still want to see them. The problem with all of this is that a lot of these people who feel this way, that all of these shows need to go this way and preach these morals and messages, and you can't show any patriotism, you can't do any of this. They don't understand the concept that you can think about multiple things at once. They don't understand parallel thought. Like I can love my country and also at the same time recognize that, yeah, we've done some crappy things. They can coexist. They don't need, it's not one or the other. And that's the problem. They can't think of more than one thing at one time. So instead of having depth, you have your surface level casting. You have your female BIPOC.
BIPOC.
Bipocalypse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we've got a little bit more time. We got about 10 more minutes. So before we sign out, just because kind of Drew brought it to my mind, speaking of people trying to appropriate things and change them, Nadria Tucker, if anybody remembers, a couple weeks ago, she was the self-described, proclaiming SJW who talked about how she got let go from Superman and Lois, the upcoming CW spinoff from Supergirl. I'm sure you guys know what that show is by now, but she also gave an interview earlier this week where she talked about how, my experiences in the writing room, what it was like, blah, blah, blah. And she revealed that she was trying to push for Ma and Pa Kent to be people of color. She straight up just uses, because they're Superman's adoptive parents, they can literally be anything in the world. Tucker reasoned before proceeding to note that the idea received a significant resistance in the writer's room. And so we got pushed back on that.
Well, yeah,
again, we pushed for diversity. Again, we were, again, we pushed for diversity. Again, we're ignored. Stuff like that just adds up, and you see the results on the screen. I mean, to me, it just sounds like they're trying to be accurate to the character. Like that's not a bad. Like, yeah, I can see it happening, but also it's kind of one of those unnecessary changes, I guess.
Oh, it's absolutely an unnecessary change.
We're gonna get canceled soon, dude. I'm sure the cancel patrol is rolling up on our doors as we speak.
No, because we mentioned the purple haired bringer
The
of
purple haired
doom.
one, yes, of course. That's true. Just don't say it 3 times. 3 times, and it'll summon her directly. But that's basically. She also talked about how, like, she got notes on her draft and her outline, but then the writer or the showrunner basically told her her work wasn't up to the standards he needed, and she took an issue with that. And I mean, basically, like here, she explains how she spent her time flagging Me Too jokes in dialogue, defending the Bechdel test, pitching stories for female characters that went ignored.
She could write for Marvel.
Yeah, and fighting to ensure that the only black faces on screen aren't villains, which is weird because in the CW shows there's a bunch of characters who aren't villains who are black.
Anti-Monitor? No.
Well, Anti-Monitor too, but what's his name? You've got like Black Lightning, you've got John Diggle, you've got Wally West, you've got, oh my gosh, I'm like blanking on one specific black guy, and I don't know why I can't think of his name. I mean, you've got Hawk Girl too. Oh my gosh, this is gonna
what
anyway.
show?
It's just one of those. All the CW ones just now like kind of blend together to me, and I can't remember who I said Jimmy Olsen, right? Did I say Jimmy Olsen?
Oh yeah,
No.
Jimmy Olsen. Yeah.
Okay, good. That's who I was thinking of. Jimmy Olsen.
Martian Manhunting.
Martian Manhunting.
Manhunting.
Dude, hell yeah.
Sounds like a cougar activity in the night.
There it is. I was waiting for one of those ones. But that's basically what she was talking about. And yeah, she tried to push for diversity by taking Superman's parents and race swapping them. They all pushed back, thankfully. So we don't know what they'll look like in the show. I don't believe either of them have been cast yet. Unless, did I say Martha got cast? No, nobody's been cast yet, but hopefully this indicates that we'll get the good old Kent farmers there in that image supplied by, I believe, who wrote this? Yeah, JB did. But that's just kind of, something I wanted to end on, to point out that Drew is 100% right. That's kind of how they try to do it. And whether it works out for them or not varies, but they're doing it.
I'm just impressed there was actually pushback in the writers' room.
I am too. I am legitimately surprised that she notes that there was pushback, because you don't see a lot of that. And that's why, these are those small moments of hope that'll probably end up biting me in the ass in the future. But with that, guys, I think we're coming up on 3 hours here. It's almost midnight on the East Coast, so I think it's a good time to wrap it up. As always, my name is Spencer McCooley. I'm the associate editor of Bounding Into Comics. Is wrapping it up really bell-worthy? Wouldn't it be unwrapping?
We're gonna go around the horn and plug our channels.
Absolutely, we are gonna go around the horn, and let's start with Don. Let the people know what you've got going on, and let's hear that beautiful outro that you've been working on.
All right, so I am Dollified, the balance in the force, the middle of the lane, the bringer of all bells, the referee, the umpire, the council of reason, as best as I can be, unbiased when all else has gone insane. You can subscribe to my channel. Just look me up, DOLLFIED. That's where you'll find me eventually when I get more videos up and this work week is kind of calmed down. I've got some stuff going up on the channel. I will do a live stream tomorrow night, because tomorrow night is Thanksgiving, and we all need something to be thankful for, and thankful for like getting our ventrations out.
So excited!
Ventration's a word.
It's Therapy Thursdays. Finally.
Yes, we're gonna do Thursday at night, and okay, I think we're gonna do that project that me and Drew's been talking about. We're gonna burn this bitch down. So sub to these guys. Drew, Supreme Heretic, he's got a channel. Sub to him. And go follow my boy's website, Lopter, Demon King of Inferno.
Let me pull that back up. I'll pull that URL back up.
And then, look for stuff on Bounding into Comics. I've got a few articles coming out. It's going to be talking about the Marvel Multiverse of Madness. Mostly.
Don's been the man on the multiverse stories. He's been keeping it all in order. So definitely follow his Marvel work. Dude, are you kidding me? There's been so much information that is just like all over the place, and you've been able to like lay it out.
Yeah. Eventually, I won't be able to because it's just going to be a convoluted mess. But yes, we are all thankful for Gina.
Mm-hmm.
There it is.
Bless. Absolutely thankful for Gina, Mark. I don't think anybody will ever disagree with that. Here's Lopter's site again, therealmofinferno.godaddysites.com. You can also find it in the about section of his YouTube channel, which is how I always remember to find it. But with that, Drew, what have you got going on, buddy?
All right, so I am
Night, Alex.
I am, of course, Supreme Heretic here on YouTube. You can follow my channel at youtube.com/Supreme Heretic. Every Thursday, we do the Pegasus Actual Podcast. It is a sort of writer's perspective look at Ronald D. Moore's Battlestar Galactica, or like what I like to consider at least one of the last good science fiction shows that we had. We go over that every Thursday. However, tomorrow we're not doing an episode because most people are going to be with their families, and we're going to come back and get a start with season 3, episode 1 on the Thursday after tomorrow. So make sure that you guys catch us next week, and then we'll be basically I'll be on other people's streams and whatnot, messing around. I'll be on, I think, Comics Division stream tomorrow. I'll probably stop by Don's stream too. So
definitely, I'll be there.
Yeah. So make sure that you catch us on Don's channel. Make sure you check out Comics Division's channel tomorrow. He usually has some great people on late at night, and he does a good stream himself. He's a worthy follow. Has been on this show before, so it's pretty awesome. But make sure you read us all on boundingintocomics.com. Follow us on social media. Spencer's at Kabuto Rider Mav. I'm at Supreme Heretic. Donald, of course, Dolpide. So there you go.
2 L's.
I spelled it out for people down here. So
beautiful. That all you got going on, Drew?
Yeah, pretty much. If anybody wants to do any gaming, like I said, I am currently playing the Division 2. We've got an open clan on there. Anybody wants to join, you're more than welcome. So,
and Drew knows what he's doing. So if you play with him, I promise you will have a good time. I mean, he'll carry you if it comes to that. So definitely recommend playing with him.
I'm the tank, so all of you can make DPS builds.
One more thing.
Yeah.
On Sundays, I am on with Machini 90, and he pretty much does like a creative stream. So
cool.
Yeah. So on Sundays around noonish Pacific time. So our last work, I was able to produce this little beauty
let's
here.
Pull that bad boy up. Whoop, wrong person. No, I got rid of everybody but me.
All right, so
how do I make you?
Make me bigger.
There we go.
All right, so this is New Warriors character
Snowflake.
A little bit of a redesign.
I love it.
Kind of, improving the situation that Marvel kind of put him in.
There we go.
That a little bit of masculinity in the face because still they're trying to identify themselves.
Hey, that looks, not only does that look fantastic and a lot better than what we would have gotten, but you also produced it. You just produced it. That's it. It's now 4 weeks since we were supposed to get New Warriors.
Right.
Today marks 4 weeks. So I'm still waiting for that disaster. That's awesome though. That looks great. So you guys do that on Sundays?
Sundays, yeah, at noon.
Sundays at noon Pacific time. That's fantastic. I'm gonna check that one out.
Yeah,
this upcoming Sunday.
Makidi's awesome.
Oh
Shout
yeah,
out to him.
Well, with that, as I said before, my name is Spencer Bakuli. You can find me on Twitter at Kabuto Rider Mav. As for what I've got going on, not much. Just keeping the website running. I'll have new stuff up pretty much every day. So stick around for your daily dose of news, nerd culture news from a source that isn't going to beg for consoles from you based on our skin color.
Right?
But with that, we have been bounding into comics. Oh, and of course, on Friday, Dawn and I will be back, and hopefully Drew might be able to join us.
Oh, yeah, for the Mandalorian.
We will be back for our Mandalorian live stream. This week, we finally get to see Ahsoka Tano as directed by Dave Filoni. So,
yeah, guys, you don't want to miss that. Everybody and their brother has been talking about the Ahsoka reveal. So we're going to.
It's going to be at the very end of the episode. It's going to be the last 5 seconds.
No, Filoni's going to want to.
I know. I was
joking. All 30, 40 minutes.
It's going to be. It's not even going to be the Mandalorian. It's going to be the Ahsoka.
Yeah, it will. And I expect it to unfold kind of like they did the episode with Bo-Katan. I expect there to be a lot of Ahsoka centric type of action in there, So we'll see how it goes. We'll see if we get Ahsoka overload or if it's just right. So
we'll his find body pillow. Of course, it's going to be an overload.
So we'll find out. But
his body pillow will have a cameo.
But yeah, definitely catch us Friday because it's going to be really awesome, and we're going to have the full breakdown here for you guys. So yep. That's what's coming up.
Yeah.
Other than that,
we'll be here at 4 p.m. Central or 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. So hopefully you guys will join us for that.
And no, okay, go ahead, Don. What?
Oh yeah, so because everybody was pointing out last week with that last episode, everything that we've seen so far was seen in that trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Now what we are seeing now is going to be uncharted territory.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that works out. The last time I remember Disney pulling that was Endgame.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens on Friday.
Well,
maybe
we saw what happens in the game before.
Yeah. Everybody have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Yes.
God bless you and your families. And please come back and spend your an hour or so of your Friday with us. We'll probably stream for a good hour and a half because we're really going to get into breaking down that episode. So don't miss that. And until then, take care of yourselves and each other, man. We love you guys. Without you, there is no us. You are
absolutely
the best chat on YouTube. And
yeah, we would be nothing without you guys. That's a sincere, honest, heartfelt thank you for hanging out with us, checking us out, and sticking with us.
And Roof Korean hit me up. Even if it's not on voice, I'll be probably jumping on the game here shortly because I got nothing else to do at midnight Eastern.
The eve of Thanksgiving, right?
Yep.
All right. With that, everybody, like Drew said, have a great Thanksgiving. Hopefully we'll see you on Friday. Hopefully we'll see some of you tomorrow on Dawn's stream and then Sunday on the art stream. And with that, coffee I like. I don't believe Baby Yoda has spoken words yet. That mug is non-canon.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of caffeine.
Fantastic. Both good mugs. I have water bottle.
Nice.
But with that, happy Turkey Day, like Mark says, and we will see you all later.
Later.
Take it easy, everybody.